Okay.
That was an error in judgment.
Okay. So, I'll start us off with a read-in, and then just as a reminder, all of you are arriving first, and then we're going from there. Nobody else gets to know.
So we're just, like, it's just us in the area. Sorry.
It's nobody in the area.
Oh, cool.
We don't exist yet.
Understood.
Welcome to our original Starfinder one-shot, The Influencers. This is something that we're pre-recording right now. I am the GM of this game, Joe Treff. Joining me are my friends, Matt, Vincent, Hannah, Dan, Olive. Oh, I got so close. And Cara. I just said I was going to say Alana and then Ari, and then we're in different seats, and so that does make things a little confusing. This is a one-shot for Starfinder. It is set in canon to Mosaic Team 5, our original Starfinder campaign, and it is going to be aired about a week or two, actually about 3 weeks from when we were actually playing it. For all of you who have not really tuned into the Starfinder campaign before, this is set in the future from our regular Milky Way. This takes place a little bit further away from the Solari system, which is Earth, the Sun, all those different things. But it is March 16th, 2250. It is a Saturday. It is 10 a.m. And we are beginning our story in Aura's Bay. When the hot star Aura rose above its namesake planet, a tiny blue jewel in an otherwise uninhabited system, it was just another day in the paradise planet known as Aura's Bay. It was, for the most part. For all of you infosphere influencers of 2250, this was a very exceptional day, in fact, as one by one you arrived at the William Murray Memorial Space Center at the invitation of the United Solari Republic's specialized Galactic Vice Unit, and discreetly made your way to Conference Room 3B. Over the course of retrieving your luggage, you might review the final text that you dropped or had dropped to your communicators 1 week ago. Arrival 9:30 a.m. GST on 3/16/50, Starbolt Express Flight 233 A877, Aura's Bay. Bring beach attire. Defensive measures will be provided. Compensation 50,000 credits. It has been a whirlwind of a week prior, with Galactic Vice reaching out to each of you as influencers and requesting your assistance in documenting a meeting and a deal set to take place in Aura's Bay. Why all of you, various influencers with no real military background, at least not on the outward side? Because this happens to be taking place in the party of the year, a party that has been erected on behalf of a well-known Skittermander musician. Olive, your character arrives first. Now sits across the table from a thin-lipped human male wearing a black suit with subtle gold accents and the USR stars on one shoulder, maybe in his late 30s, early 40s, with crisp brown hair and thin lips, who identified himself as Special Agent Spider. Could you describe your character, please?
So, this slimy's the wrong word. She is dewy. She's got a beautiful dewy face, and she starts walking in, clicking in with high heels, and opens up her bat wings, and you can see there are just full of rhinestones, like Britney Spears, Dolly Parton level rhinestones, like
Absolutely
trashy
amazing.
rhinestone princess here. She is aquatic but looks like a bat. And she comes in and goes, "Good morning, Captain."
Okay, you can see this individual looks you up and down. You can't help but notice they have a very large pistol strapped to their side. Their arms cross and they kind of pull back a little bit. As they open their mouth to speak, suddenly the door behind them opens up. Dan, can you describe your character, please, as they step in?
You see a character named Don Gorski. He has very full bangs, kind of mid-30s, I would say, appearance. Very thin frame, about 6'4".
Speaking of frames, can you lean into it?
Just look him up on the infosphere.
He just slowly goes away.
Basically, he's wearing a championship belt that says world's greatest, and then it's crossed out and it says galaxy. He has mostly an American flag draped over him, like I am right now. And he has a big bag, just a huge bag that just says meat pucks on it.
Phenomenal. Yeah. Is it branded Eats Meats?
Yes.
Nice. So yeah, officially branded Eats Meats. It has your name like embroidered on the side. This is like made for you. Maybe a prize for a previous
It's a
competition.
huge, large extra bag. It's like what you get when you order from like Costco.
Nice. Perfect. So that's Don Gorski. As you, Don, pull up to this table, is there anything that you're doing or saying? At this point, you see a rhinestoned bat creature, unlike any that you've really seen, unlike anything that anybody's really seen. And then this human who is looking incredulously at the bat.
Hello, my friends. My name is Don Gorski, and I'm here to puck. I mean, meat pucks. I'm going to beat the world, the galaxy's record for eating the most meat pucks in one consecutive standing. And I would like you all to be a witness to my greatest accomplishment. And then he takes out one. And he puts it right in his mouth.
You could see like the sunglasses slide down the special agent's face. They pull back a little bit and they just go, "This is the dumbest idea we've ever had."
His tongue extends. Have you ever seen Gene Simmons?
No, God. We just
extra.
saw it. Everyone just saw it.
Horrifying. Absolutely horrifying. That's the new big bad. So you can see like he pulls back. He kind of turns half towards the door that is still behind him and closed. You can see there's light shifting underneath, but at the moment, this one remains
You
shut.
can see there's like a camera that he has set up to record. And it's like says like Guinness World, whatever the equivalent of Guinness official for recording records.
Sure, no problem. So you have you brought a camera with you.
Yeah.
You're at a party, but you're still ready to work.
Yeah.
No problem. So you pull up to this table, and as you say this, and you can see the agent said, "This is the dumbest idea we've ever had." He turns, and the fourth door opens up. Hannah and Vincent, can you please introduce your characters? You both in sync took drinks.
So you see a pair of brunei, which to your eyes, if you've never met brunei, look like otters. They enter in, and as they're entering, one of them has a drone in her hands that she's kind of like putting away, and she goes, Sprocket, I really don't think we should be live streaming this meeting, don't you think?
Oh, yeah, that she put that away.
Yeah, and she squirrels it away into her little otter pocket. And then regarding the group, she goes, "Oh, well, I guess we're not the first ones here, Sprocket."
No, I guess we're not. I think I recognize some faces here.
Oh, very good.
Is that Polly?
I think it might be. Hello, everybody. I'm
Howdy.
Spring.
I am Sprocket. You may know us from Sprocket and Spring.
Spot protect things. Well, nice to meet everybody. Looks like we're gonna be having a pretty good time.
And for the two of you, as you like come in and you introduce yourselves on the table, you do see that there is this very mysterious looking box. It is made out of a metal that is a little bit peculiar, and you can't really tell what's inside. There's no brand. But at the moment, it just kind of sits there. And they actually put their hand on it, and they say, "You guys do tech stuff, right?"
Oh yes.
Oh, yes?
Okay. So that's skills at least. What do you do?
Polly has an electric guitar in her hand, and she strums it. They go, and she goes, "I'm a musician. Can't you tell?"
Great.
You haven't seen my videos on Sprocket and Spring? We've done interviews before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we were looking at your setup.
Her big wig, she like flicks her big blonde wig,
No problem. Rhinestone wings flap behind you. But
jangling of chains.
as you do that, there is a small commotion at the door. Chet, Cecilia, you arrive at the exact same time. This is a narrow hall. And it's a narrow door.
Good to see you.
Who enters first?
After you.
Yeah. obviously. Celia's comm
Same
unit
old
is
Celia.
engaged and just kind of like walks in. It's like, hi, I'm here at USR Vice headquarters here on Aras Bay, and you don't mind that I'm recording this, right? It's for my fans.
You can see he like pushes his sunglasses up and he says, "You're not recording anything. You won't be able to record anything in this room."
Wait, what?
And you can see there is no connection to the infosphere on your device.
I'm up.
Oh.
Nice. I got it. Infosphere camera.
Your camera, as far as you can tell, it works. It doesn't broadcast. You're just recording and uploading. So
Ceilia, like after she powers down her comm unit, you can kind of see her face a little bit better. Not super well though, because she has this massive pair of sunglasses on and a very floppy like straw beach hat, while wearing a like full-length beach maxi dress with a really orange, garish floral pattern. She's a lashunta. She's got some really tanned, lovely beach skin with some freckles that totally look intentionally placed. Very, very natural, of course. And, you know, I've got everything I need here in my little bag. And it's, like, massive.
absolutely huge. This is luggage. And then, Chet, would you introduce yourself, please?
All right.
Celia's, like, still in the doorway. Oh.
So I'm gonna be like, oh, excuse me, is this conference room 4C?
At this, you can see the special agent just goes, "Unfortunately, yeah, it is."
Sweet. Oh, excuse me. I'm gonna go back out and bring in my longboard. Oh, I was told that it was a party, bro. Put it up against the wall. So this is where
Can you
the
close the
party-
door behind you?
Oh, no, bro, dude. Oh, how have you been? Oh, man, that. Oh, wow.
How
I'm
about
still
that?
thinking about that food the other day. Oh, so good.
Food I haven't eaten since that day.
Look, Ceilia has her too. Oh,
You can see
Liz-
he's just like holding this data pad. He has one hand on the box, one hand on the data pad, and he is just like,
You're so dewy. Oh, dude.
Thank you.
Oh,
I didn't know
Wow.
that you were here, Ceilia. You will be witnessing greatness.
oh, we're all witnessing greatness
"You're
every
just
day.
giving the carbon cartel this island." Okay, we're all here.
What?
Ooh,
This is so stupid.
that is scary.
Now that you're all here, let's just get down to business and get this over with so that we can do plan B once you all fail.
Party business.
You're all influential influencers. That's why you're here, I guess. You're supposed to be civilian contractors for this very important mission. I cannot stress this enough. This is really important. Every single asset that we had in line to do this has been taken over to this casino that was just shot up. We have no resources left, and so we have to rely on all of you. This isn't my choice, if you couldn't tell. I don't like giving weapons to all of you, especially not you. And he points to you.
I don't need a weapon. I am a weapon.
Oh, that's
Spoken
badass.
You can see his mouth just like grins, and his mouth can go a bit larger, like a Cheshire Cat smile. It just goes way larger.
Okay. He you hear this chair scrape on the metal floor, and he just shudders a little bit. And then he says,
Are we,
yeah,
are we in danger of getting shot on this mission?
Oh, that
I
would be
think
not
you're in
cool.
danger from much more than getting shot on this mission.
Oh, spring. Sounds
I just signed up
Is
to go
there-
to a party.
Is there a
Look.
Wi-Fi in here?
You're supposed to just go to a party, and all you really need to do is take pictures. Your primary objective once you go to this island is to get proof of who's taking over the narcotics trade. We think we know it's going to be one of 3 people. If you can get proof of who this seller is, that's icing on the cake. If you can figure out who the seller's working for, that's even better, but don't put yourselves at risk. And then finally, if you can get incriminating evidence on any of these criminals, that would let us put them away, take them in for questioning, and who knows what we could do. But all we really need is pictures of an exchange happening.
Pictures.
You're gonna
Usually
go-
my photographer does that because I'm on the board.
He looks down at your longboard. You'll figure something out.
Cool. All right.
You're all about to travel to a private island called Palm Tree Cove, where the insanely famous Electro Hive techno skitter artist, the Rude Sandstorm, is hosting a outrageous party with other influencer guests. Among these guests, there's going to be 3 high-level narcotics dealers. They're all bidding for the rights to take over after this sudden vacancy left by... There's a guy who got killed at the casino who was running all this before, I guess. So the first one, and actually, give me 1 second.
Would you like a visual? Is this one of those?
It is.
Mars Bay is a planetary system.
It's a city on a planet.
It's a city.
But the planet's like all water.
It's a beach planet, bro.
And so he puts down 3 these little hollow slates. Each one has a galactic vice identification sort of thing on it. And he says, one of them is a male lashunta, Zaskatane Hagon. They represent Kolrash's smuggling ring. They also smuggle a lot of firearms, and so if there is somebody who's going to be dangerous, if you're going to have a shootout, like you said, this is the person that you really want to avoid.
Dude.
So be careful around this guy. Katie Crash, don't let the looks fool you. They're an SRO. They were a jackhammer, Jacinto brand, until they gained sentience and built themselves to be as human-like as they can get.
Well, like
But
a
they-
literal jackhammer?
Yes.
Oh, dude!
You know what an SRO is, right?
Oh, sentient resource officer, right?
Close. It's a jackhammer that gains sentience, yes.
Oh,
Honestly, she's kind of hot.
She's
Shiz.
insanely strong. And then finally, there is Summer Gladwood. She's human. She was trained by the Order of the Slumbering Power and an initiate into the Convent of the Sacred Eye before being excommunicated for exploding heads. She seems pleasant enough to most people, but this isn't somebody you want to make angry.
They seem terrifying.
Wait, like actually exploding heads?
Like literally.
Oh, dude, what? That's so freaking gnarly.
You could see he looks incredulously at you and he goes, that doesn't scare you?
No, that's fucking crazy, dude. Someone just like, oh,
She's not
what?
going to be exploding.
How does
at
that
the
even
party,
happen?
right? This
Oh,
is designer.
What? Dude.
Okay, you would all die
Galaxy
immediately
is
if we sent
such
you in like
a
this,
vast
obviously.
place.
Chet,
Oh,
I
sorry.
just need you to dial it back a little bit there, buddy. You can see he like presses this box and that door with a little bit of light opens up and a Yosoki walks in. Yosoki being like a little rat humanoid person. This one has mottled gray fur, slightly crimped whiskers, and dazzling blue eyes. They're wearing matching subtle gray-black uniform as the person that you're speaking to right now. But he slinks up to the table. He's pulling behind him what looks like almost like a cooler that you would bring to the beach, but it's huge and like significantly more long. It wheels in up to the table and he sits down here with all of you. And he says, hello, all of you. My name is Agent Crow, and I'm here to help all of you with equipment. This is a party, then they'll screen for weapons. Do any of you have anything on you, by the way, we should know about?
I got my
Spring
ball.
pulls out her a little laser drill that looks very well loved, and she kind of holds it up and she's like, "Can I keep it?"
That just looks like a tool, really. I think that's fine.
If there are metal detectors, a couple weeks back I ate a spoon during a competition.
Oh, what?
It might still be in there.
Well, that's not good, you know.
You should get that
Everything.
checked, bro.
It can
Everything.
get stuck in your intestines, really.
You're gonna have to poop it out. Dude.
Everything that goes in here. never leaves.
That seems unhealthy.
You hear this scrape, and the first person that you talk to stands up and he goes, "Look, I can't deal with this anymore. Please just get me when you're done with these guys." And he storms out of the room.
I'm on a carb-only cleanse. You just eat carbs until you can't possibly poo anymore. And then you drink a cup of some oil, and then everything comes out in one massive poo.
So I'm paid by salary, really, so I'd like to get this through.
Oh, yeah, and she pulls out a
bro.
little zip stick, which is like the lamest taser known to man. I don't think it even really does damage. The DC is so low.
Yeah. You could see he pulls out this little scanner and just zips over it and just goes, "That will be fine."
She uncorks the other side and it's lipstick.
Is my board okay?
I think so.
Haha, sweet. Can I get another?
I don't think you could stop and find one.
I thought like you said that you had equipment, so
I
figured
do
maybe.
now, don't I? He turns and he like props his box open and he rustles through it and he says, "A few things that might help, and they're disguised to blend in. First," and he pulls out 2 pairs of sunglasses, and he says, "These are synchronous sunglasses, and if you're wearing one, you can see out of the other. It's linked to 2 other pairs. We have an agent who went missing. They have the 3rd. And so, 2 of you could use these." And they put them down on the table.
Well, why don't you use those to see where they are?
He offers you one to look into.
I put them on over my
And you just see a bird go by, perfectly blue sky, and like a couple clouds.
Oh, wow. So beautiful.
Very beautiful, but not helpful, really. So this also, and he pulls out a puka shell necklace. And he says, "Now this Aegeus necklace has been disguised to blend into the beach, but it will make your armor more effective, particularly against energy attacks." Pulls out from this cooler a gift box, wrapped up white gift paper, purple ribbons. And he says, "Now this looks like a normal present, but it is in fact a hack in the box. Activating this will create a pulse that will reset all electronics nearby. So use very wisely, especially around electronics."
How big is it?
It's like a gift box, maybe the size of like a shoebox.
Like some
So it's
sort
like a
of
present that you would bring to a
Jack
party.
in the Box sized box.
Literally a Jack-in-the-Box size box, yes.
Okay.
It does, but I can already do it.
Pulls out a pair of sandals and slaps them down on the table.
Oh,
Beautiful white
sweet
sandals,
lips.
blazing
Oh.
bright orange-yellow LED strips. And he says, "These are the Sunwalker sandals. They can give the appearance of movement, they can give the wearer additional movement, really only once per day, but good in a pinch."
What size are they?
He pulls something out and looks at all of you, and it's this beautiful orb. And I would say Ceilia, Sprocket, Spring, Dolly, Polly, all of
but
you.
also Dolly.
I know. All 4 of you recognize this is this is called the protagonist photo orb, or the protagonist photo orb. And what this is, it's a like silver orb. It looks perfectly like solid, but when you throw it up as an action, it begins to blare music. It has a personal spotlight that
party
goes down
ball!
on you, suitable for streaming, like a ring light. It gives everyone within 50 feet a -5 conditional modifier to perception checks, but you are unable to hide for the next 60 seconds.
Is that the newest model?
It is, really. It's actually not out yet.
Oh, dude. That's like super secret tech shit.
He takes out a little tin of SPF 30 sunscreen and says, "This is lidocaine lotion. It will heal if you need to. It also is SPF 30. And he puts it down.
That's a good amount.
And then finally takes out a pair of denim cargo shorts.
Ew.
And he says, "So, in my experimenting, this is something that didn't come out quite right. I would be
too
very
many
cautious with it
pockets.
if you want to use it." Precisely. These are the cargo shorts of chaos. And twice a day, reaching into the side pockets will pull something out of somewhere.
That's
But I'm
just
not
silly.
sure exactly where. As this is a beach party, really, each of you could only choose one thing. You need to go light. And, of course, we do have hidden weapons as well. We have And he pulls out what looks like a toolkit of some kind. And he says, this railgun can be broken down and disguised as a toolkit, brought in, hopefully, undetected. We also have this, and he pulls out what looks like a little plastic shovel, the kind that you would like dig a sandcastle with. And he says, this is a disguised Jacinto brand shock truncheon. And so for those of you who may be in close combat with somebody, this will provide you with a level of protection. If you are a bit more handy with sort of weapons, he pulls out what looks like a comb. This is like, the switchblade combs?
Yes.
It looks very much like that. However, when you tap it, a blade comes out that is ceramic. 4 blades actually come out of it that are ceramic, and they are colored almost like the night sky. And he says, this is something that we confiscated from somebody, but maybe you could use it. We also have a Viscarium gizzard throat, which maybe the singing person would want.
That's me?
Gizzard.
We've got a scorch gun and then an apocalypse crystal. And so all of those things you should be able to hide on your persons in such a way as to get them into this party. Now, please, of course, do not use them if you don't need them.
Don is going to take the jack-in-the-box.
Pack-in-the-box.
The pack-in-the-box.
Sure.
And he's going to grab his jaw, and he's going to say, I promise you've only seen people unhinge their jaw like this on the Nature Channel. And he's going to open down his mouth, and he's going to try to shove it down his mouth.
Make an athletics check.
Is Don a human or some sort of eldritch beast?
Yeah.
He is not human. There's another class up here.
Oh my
Yes,
God.
He is. Or maybe he is, yeah. That is, let me see, let's go. That is a 17.
17. So all of you watch as Don pulls his face and he pulls the lips, and it's like where the lips would normally come down, you see the gums and the teeth, then it continues down and the jaw continues down, and the whole mouth becomes entirely too large, and you can see the interior like pink elements stretch and become taut and become almost white as the blood is stretched away, and then the gift is just down.
Good Hylax. What the?
No problem. It is in a hidden compartment.
That was disturbing, bro.
You want to take
Don't worry.
Excuse me, Dr. Bro.
Agent Crow.
Agent Bro.
Quite.
Do you have anything that's a little less violent? I am a pacifist by nature, so
Like what?
like not a weapon.
He holds up the cargo shorts. He holds up the sandals, the puka shell necklace, the sunglasses.
Ceilia is just like desperately grabbing for the camera.
Okay, yeah, you can add the protagonist photo orb. So that, as an action, you can throw that up, and it gives everybody within 50 feet a -5 conditional modifier to perception checks.
I guess I'll take the shells, bro.
That gives you a +1 conditional KAC EAC modifier, and you can use it once as a reaction to raise your EAC by 10 when hit by an attack that can be seen.
Can I check to see if the sandals fit?
They do.
Can I take the sandals too?
Make a diplomacy check. Take a -6 conditional modifier.
GM question:
Yeah.
Is this a homebrew item that's not going to be in the
Correct.
process? Okay,
Wait,
so
I think
it's
I have
called
a
the protagonist
diplomacy.
photo orb.
Yep. Yeah, these items are all homebrew, and the weapons are slightly reflavored Starfinder weapons.
And it's a -5 to conditional modifier to perception.
Correct.
I
Damn.
got a +2 racial bonus to diplomacy checks, bro.
Very nice. Dan, for you, this hack in the box.
Yes.
As an action, you can tear the gift paper, which will sever a microscopic chip that will send out a DC 20 reset pulse to all electronics in 30 feet.
Okay. 30 feet?
Yeah.
Sprocket and Spring kind of look at the glasses, which I think you said are matching. Spring takes hands one to Sprocket, and then in unison, I think they just
Okay. You put them on and you look at each other and you can see each other in like the periphery of your vision. You also see on the interior part of your vision just the sky. But so adorable. You see these two Brunei otter-like humanoids who are just like grooming.
And then it goes into the otter thing where they're like fluffing the fur and like.
Oh my god.
Super cute. So you have these synchronous sunglasses, and these give you a heads-up display. You can access the infosphere. Right now you have no signal, but you can access the infosphere through this without using hands, without using vocal commands. You can also see what the other person is saying.
Just with my brain.
Just with your brain.
What'd you call them? Synchronous sunglasses?
The synchronous sunglasses. These are 2 of the 3 sets.
I think they're still.
Dolly, Polly's gonna go up to the cargo shorts
Okay.
and go, my dresses, they never have pockets. I need fucking pockets.
And I just want to be very clear. I'm not sure where these items are coming from. And one time it was a creature, so be very, very cautious.
Oh, wow.
For emergencies.
Emergencies, got it.
Don't
Those are some
worry, it's fine when
gnarly
things come from other
sharks, bro.
places.
What?
They just appear and it's fine.
What?
As she also goes for the
So
comb
much crazy
and just
stuff.
sticks it in her giant wig.
Oh, nice.
I got a 26 to keep the sandals. He looks
to the
at
what?
He looks at you
in addition to the puka shells.
and he says, I'm not really supposed to let you, but I suppose you're the one that will die if they find you. So,
Oh, what?
of course.
Who's gonna find me, bro?
Oh, we can take 2 things.
I guess.
Celia
Just-
snatches up the crystal. It's so
Okay.
shiny.
So that apocalypse crystal is a Solarian crystal.
Yeah, that'd be more for you.
Oh shit.
Yeah, you'd want that.
Oh, yeah, Solarian too. Oh,
Oh, we
nature.
got 2 sets.
She has like around her wig, it's just like these little shells, little sea glass, right? Little white
Perfect.
sea glass
When,
things that are just
when
around her
Chet
head.
goes like
Oh, I
this, there's a
missed it.
glow.
Okay, so
It's
that
like
happens.
bioluminescence.
Does everybody have what they want?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So Agent Crow says, so we've arranged for you all to take a bus down to the ferry. From there, you'll leave to the island. Do you have any questions?
I should have taken this gun, but that's fine.
What is the other
Non-violence,
names of the
bro.
band members in Rude
Okay,
Sandstorm?
I'll take the start.
Oh, it's just one person, really. Eskitander. They are the Rude Sandstorm.
Dope.
Yeah, it's
You
like.
haven't heard of the Rude Sandstorm?
No, of course I have. I was just wondering if their entourage was
Oh,
going to be there.
you
They
should do a
usually
collaboration
have
with them. I
dancers, I
bet that would be
believe.
sick.
I can't wait to see what kind of rig they have.
Primarily, it's a spinning stage with smart lighting, I believe. Now,
Do they
we've
have
arranged.
pyrotechnics?
I believe so.
Oh, pyrotechnics.
Worth sharing with you all. He actually reaches into his pocket and passes out another data slate, and he says, "You'll notice actually, there's a ship located on the map there, really, and that's where all of the party supplies are. So if they're unloading fireworks, that's where they'll be. The ferry is bringing you directly to the party, but if you have time,
Secret fireworks?
not secret. We know where they are, don't we?
Oh, yeah, I guess so. My manager told me that I would be going to this place and that there would be some gnarly waves. Could you just point out where the sickest swell is gonna be, bro?
He says, I don't really understand any of the words that you're saying.
Where are the waves going to be the most tubular?
I'm very sorry to say, but because of the barrier and Palm Tree Cove's proximity to it, the waves are rather mild there, I'm afraid.
Oh, bro.
Anyways, we've arranged for a bus to take all of you there. It is waiting outside. Please keep your visibility to a minimum until you get off the bus. Thank you. And he stands up. The door on the far end opens. You can see, like, on his communicator, and it's hard to tell if it's on or if he's just trying to avoid you, but the other agent holds the door open for all of you.
Oh, copacetic, bro.
I think there was a box on the table when we entered the day. Was that one of the things?
Yeah, that's where they took out all the data pads, and that's where they were, like, getting some of the stuff
It
from.
was just a cardboard box.
No, it's like a pelican case, essentially, yeah. So, you exit the door and making your way out to the sort of area where there are a lot of commercial buses and vans and taxis. You see directly in front of you and gesturing for you to board, driven by a Rocco unit, a white passenger van. You can enter without issue, and if you want, you can make your way over and towards the ferry.
Strap my board up onto the roof.
Okay.
Celia's busy trying to like make a little necklace out of the apocalypse crystal.
Okay, yeah, no problem.
Don Gorski's eating meat pucks. You can hear him silently counting 24.
Dude, when does it stop?
And these are all different flavors too, so it's like a shrimp meat puck. It's like and these, just for those of you who don't play this consistently, we do have Eats Meats, which is not real meat, but it is meat flavored, and so technically no meat in these pucks. But no problem.
Spring is kind of the gun that she received that breaks down. She's like, ka-ching, ooh, look at that, ka-ching, and she pulls out like a little, like her little toolkit, her rig or whatever, and she's like unscrewing stuff, and she's like, oh, look at the mechanism. Oh, Sprocket, this is really good. Ka-ching. Look how small it gets. Ka-ching. Look how long.
You begin pulling away.
These weapons that we could do a review on them. Our channel.
Oh my gosh, our fans would love that.
You begin to pull away in this van. Driving through Aura's Bay, you pass the grocery store on the left and a gas station. You turn left right at this intersection and head down a long stretch of beautiful residential buildings and tidy neighborhoods to the right. You pass by the Aura Bay Community College on the left, a gleaming green campus with beautiful glass buildings. There is a warehousing area that you then pass through before you make your way over to a boardwalk. And though it is roughly like, I think 4 in the afternoon, let me actually just double check that real quick.
Perfect time to catch some waves.
Oh, sorry. Because it is about noon. Oh, even better.
Every time it's a time for shredded waves, dude.
24/7, baby.
Because it is about noon, you can see, not currently lit, but still very much active, the Constellation Boardwalk. At night, this is a place where there are, for each of the major astrological signs, a zone on this boardwalk set up. There's an amusement ride, there's food, there are different things. On the way off to the left, you can see this whole boardwalk. There are many people there, and actually the dock to the ferry is in that boardwalk as well. As you are turning onto the boardwalk proper, you can see directly in front of you there is crime scene tape that has been drawn across what looks like a casino. You could see many elements of USR, like agents. This is probably what this person was talking about when they talked about their resources being taken away. Maybe a dozen USR officers in total. But you turn left, you leave them in the rearview mirror, and you begin to make your way past rides. On the left, you see the Leo Lion shooting range. It's laser rifles that are shooting towards these moving targets. You see the Virgo Mermaid Mixer, these spinning mermaid-shaped rides that like twirl around. Somebody throws up on one as you see them go by.
Oh, sick.
You see the Sagittarius laser range, which has these laser bows and other various like rides. You can see the van pulls into a part of this that passes between two spaces, and there's a queue of people. Mm-hmm. And the Rocco unit turns around and gives each of you an armband. These armbands, as you slide them on, if you do so,
VIP?
They're not VIP armbands. They light up yellow. And these are what will allow you access and mark you as a party goer. You can see everybody else has yellow armbands as well.
Oh, sweet.
So the Rocco unit tells you, there is 10 minutes until the ferry leaves. Please do not miss your ferry.
10 minutes.
Getting out, off to your left, there is the Gemini Ferris wheel. You can see there is like a little lounge right next to it as well, called the Lover's Lounge. And through the windows, you can see it's like a hookah bar. And then off to your right, there is the Cancer Crabiator Jousting Arena. And there are these mechanical crabs that you have like a foam noodle and you get charged at each other. It's like jousting. Interestingly, there has been some work done on this, and you can see there are all kinds of signs that have been put up. Give me 1 second here. There are signs that have been erected, and the foam noodles seem to be a little bit more padded. And as you see these crabs accelerate, they really go very slow towards each other.
I heard that an adult injured a child there. Really
That's
devastating.
not cool, dude.
That's disgusting.
Sounds like out of his league.
Next to you, the window goes down, and the Rocco unit says, "The ship that you are looking for is the USR Ha-Cha-Cha.
Ha-ha-cha-cha.
Ha-cha-cha. Ha-cha-cha. She strums.
As a reminder, you are not supposed to have weapons on you, so please keep them discreet.
What?
Enjoy your party."
The otter.
The window goes up and the van pulls away.
How much time do we have now?
You have 10 minutes.
I don't think we should explore too much. We don't want to miss the ferry.
I
Maybe we
got
should
like
record
probably time for one quick wave.
Starfinder
How's it
TikTok.
looking? Just visually. Is it totally flat?
Totally flat right
Totally
now.
flat.
What's the Starfinder version of TikTok?
Infosphere.
Infosphere is like really like everything, and then people have different like ways of utilizing that. So yeah,
How far away is the casino?
the casino by foot probably like 10 minutes. It's like a pretty good distance away, and it is quite close.
Are we on
It's
the
currently taped off.
End of the boardwalk now?
Yeah. So if you look at the map of Aura's Bay,
Where, like...
Where a certain couple
you're
might have.
waiting right here. Here's
Oh,
the
so
Ferris wheel.
so there is the beach right here.
Yeah.
Ha ha ha! Dead. I'm going for a quick dip.
So you watch as Chet just goes, takes his
I'm gonna-
board.
No, I'm putting the board in the sand.
Okay.
And running. I'm just cooling off for a minute. You know, we got 10 minutes. Gotta cool off.
You watch as Chet splashes into the water. Is there anything else anybody's doing for this 10 minutes?
Reaches into one of her otter pockets and pulls out her little drone and like ka-ching, 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 until it's like, you know, filming. And then she's like, hey guys, Sprocket and Spring here. Sprocket and
Woo!
Spring.
The water's
We're here at Aura's Bay.
melting.
We're about to go see the Rude Sandstorm. We're gonna check out his rig, see how he gets that rotating stage. Sprocket, we're pretty excited, aren't we?
Yes. Yes, we are. I used to listen to a lot of the Rude Sandstorm.
Really excited to
Really
show you guys
excited.
what's going on. So we'll check back in soon. Bye.
Bye.
Woo! Ka-ching, 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 ka-ching.
Celia's like testing out the photo orb and doing a lot of like the vacation hand pack, like walking towards the edge of the boardwalk photos and like.
So as you do that, there's like a mode that you can enable, and it hard light projects a hand so that you can like even have the hand in there. Like yeah, it's perfectly designed to be a influencer device.
Don Gorski is going to use his bounty hunter background to. He is a bounty hunter, and he's going to look on the infosphere for Zazie.
Okay, sure. Make a cultures check. Polly, are you doing anything for this 10
Ooh,
minute
that's a
period?
19.
Yeah. Polly is just
0.
perched up on the sand, like her glittery rhinestone dress is just beaming light, like reflecting the sunlight out at everybody's eyes.
Oh!
And then she's just strumming her electric guitar, saying, "Under the boardwalk, down by the sea."
Oh!
She's singing.
Just lights going everywhere, and when like Dolly turns, you see like there are people on the waiting like line who like have to turn and shield their eyes. Your drone angles itself away, so there is no like light that gets into the camera. There's no glare.
Celia immediately checks the photos and is just like.
But yeah, fantastic.
I'm
Is there an ice cream vendor nearby?
Yeah, sure. So unfortunately, actually, it's not unfortunate. I guess it's really a matter of opinion. So really close by, you had passed on the way in the Sagittarius zone of the Constellation Boardwalk. There's a place called Chili Dogs, and yes, they do sell chili dogs, but also they sell ice cream in a bun that is shaped much like a hot dog, The bun is like waffle cone kind of stuff, and so you can eat it like, you know, it's a joke. And so you can absolutely get ice cream.
I want to get some ice cream and just talk to the vendor.
Okay, yeah.
And just ask him what happened at the casino and see if they know anything.
He's like a teenage kid, and you can see he like pushes some hair out of his eyes, and he just goes, "Not Kevin. Kevin's working."
Celia's like sipping on a coffee, and it's like, you know, Kevin.
He's just like, man, I don't really know. It was like, they said it was like a murder, but there's been a whole bunch of those lately, so like, it's not that weird.
Do you happen to hear how the people were murdered?
I mean, probably to death.
That's usually what murdering means, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what they were murdered by, or they're...
Man, I would talk to like the police. Yeah.
Two ice cream dogs, please.
So you give him a couple credits, gives you some chili dogs, no problem.
A 19.
A 19. So at the 19, you look up Zaskatane Hagon, and they operate with a smuggler's ring. And not specifically are they like a narcotics dealer or anything like that, but absolutely, like, this could be an opportunity for this organization to branch out into a new industry. But no problem. So you get your chili dogs, you surf some sweet waves.
Nah, I'm splashing around, having a good time.
You frolic. Before too long,
in the water.
all of you can see approaching a ferry. Give me just 1 second here.
Should we go frolic?
Come frolic with me, dudes.
What, just because we're otters?
No, because the water is so nice, dude.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah.
The USR Ha-Cha-Cha actually has a little C that has been, it's technically a condemned ship, and so for any of you who know anything about ships, that C is a mark of not being seaworthy. It has been incorporated into the name, so it reads Cha-Cha-Cha-Cha. But the USR Ha-Cha-Cha-Cha pulls up. This is a party barge. And you can see it's a double-decker barge. There's interior seats. There is limited seating on the roof. And you could hear in the line a couple of people who are like, oh, we have to run. We have to get the roof seats. And like, that is definitely the place to be. Up on the roof, you can also see there is a woman, red frizzy hair that is contained into 2 long braids. They fall down her shoulders. And this seems to be the driver of the ship, as well as perhaps the host to this party. And as they come, you can definitely hear the music changes pretty markedly.
Oh, party time, right?
So Chet dances his way onto the beach.
Grab my board. I'm heading to the fucking...
The ferry pulls up and people begin to board.
Ha-cha-cha!
As they do, this loudspeaker begins to play, and you can hear this person yells out, "Party Sentience! Welcome to the USR Ha-Cha-Cha. I'm Kyle, the host, and I'm bringing you over to Palm Cove for the greatest party in the history of Aras Bay. Please find some seats as the water gets a little choppy on the way through, and we'll do a quick orientation and shots once we're underway." And then that shuts off, and then it begins to repeat. And so, like, people begin to board. Where are you all sitting? Where are you all sitting?
I'm going to somewhere where I can, like, look out and kind of get a vantage to...
So you want to go up on the
dive.
roof?
Yeah.
I think I would join Chet because I know Chet.
Okay, you're going to the roof. Sprocket Spring?
Yeah, they said that the roof had the best
near the engine
spots.
room, I think.
Near the end room, so inside, no problem.
Yeah, inside.
What about you, Dolly?
Oh, no.
Spinning stage.
Actually,
Spinning stage.
I'd like
There's
to
no spinning
go
stage here.
somewhere, maybe like somewhere on the bottom
This is
floor.
the
Somewhere
party
that's
boat.
not a lot of people want to go.
They
Okay.
said
That's-
that
yeah,
the
so
roof
that's
had
same
the
place,
best
same place.
spots. I heard them.
No problem.
As I'm up there with Chet, I'm gonna just like look off in the distance with him.
Okay.
You know, Chet, I'm not just doing this for the money. I'm
Oh.
doing this to
You're
advance my
getting
career.
paid?
I want you to know, Chet, since I've known you before, and I plan on taking you with me. You're
What?
going to be in my entourage.
Wait, what?
I'm bringing you up to the top with me, boy.
Okay, that's kind of...
This was like, there's a crush of people to get up here, but people are like leaving seats empty around Don Gorski.
Chet, let me tell you. Do you know how many meat pucks it takes to kill a man? I'll give you a hint. It's not 36. And then he eats 37.
Sprocket and Spring, the two of you go inside, and it's relatively like, especially because you go on relatively quickly, almost nobody goes there at first, and so you really get pretty much any seat that you want. You want to sit in the back, and so there is right up against the engine room, like, you know how in like a bus there is that one like long seat in the back. There is that is like up against it, and if you want, you could take the only 2 seats that are like in the engine room area.
I think that's where Spring would go, and she, so Sound says to Sprocket, if you want to sit, if you want to go explore, we're connected. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I can see what you see.
That's pretty good.
So as you go to sit down on that chair, suddenly the door swings open, and at this moment you see floating in a sphere of psychokinetic water a little cuttlefish-looking organism, and you see the little eyes go wide, and it just goes, "Whoa, sorry guys," and it just rushes forwards and dives into the seat, and just takes that spot, and just says, "We need these seats, or we're gonna dry out." And then through the door, like another one of these little like cuttlefish things come in.
Oh, okay. She stands up. Why do you get, oh, okay.
No problem.
Why do you need these seats?
You're gonna dry out, he said.
How does that work?
I have no idea.
They just kind of like look at each other and they just go, "We just need these seats, okay?" You can see they just like settle down.
I guess.
As you go around, you could just hear one of them. Actually, make perception checks, both of you.
Oh, we both got 3s. That's a 9 for Spring.
Also a 9 for Sprocket.
They just seem to be having a good time because they're laughing as you leave. But no problem. Is there anything else that you guys want to do? Okay. Take some other seats.
I'm gonna a little weirded out by Dawn.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a
Likewise.
kind of having a like don't meet your heroes moment. Like, I'm gonna go see what Celia's up to.
Celia's like made her way to the rooftop.
Oh, Ceilia! I'm gonna walk over to her.
Okay. You turn and take 2 steps. It's like pretty crowded up there.
Lean in, be like,
There's so many people up here.
Dawn's kind of freaking me out.
I mean, do you see what he did with his mouth?
Yeah, I mean, like, I like to believe that everyone should just live and let live, but that was that was really scary, bro.
I think I might just go down below. Like, we can get some pictures and edit
Oh,
later.
you think that I could like take my board and ride along the back of the boat? Are we going fast enough?
Is that how Chet dies?
As you say that, there is the and like it begins to pull away, and it goes very slow. This is a barge.
Oh,
Celia does that thing where you stand at like the very edge of a crowded area near the barrier and like takes the photo to make it seem like she's the only one on deck.
Okay, yeah, sure. And
It's not awe, this is what you do.
Yeah, no problem. And for what it's worth, on this ship, there are many people doing this. And so you see, like, Ceilia does that and then moves away. The next person comes and does the exact same thing. It's like a lot of people doing the exact same thing.
Celia trying to do that, Chet would be like, "Oh, we're taking pictures," and like going and be like, "Oh," next to Celia.
Celia's like pulling up a little app that like edits other people out of your photos.
I'm like
So
right up in there.
this is like a conveyor belt of individuals all being unique in the same way.
Party boat.
So no problem. You do that. You begin to move and get underway. This air horn plays a couple more times, and then you begin to chop out into the water. Give me 1 second here. Let me give you some water. So you pull out and into the water popper, and you can see Aura's Bay begin to fade a little bit in the background, and then Kyle comes back on the loudspeaker.
Woo, Kyle! go!
And Kyle says, all right. Direct your attention to the beautiful redhead for a quick rundown of the rules. First, know your limits, people. Nobody likes a pukey Polly or a sick Sally, right? But in the event of a medical emergency, just look for the party medics in all lime green morph suits for easy visibility. Drink all you want and eat all you want, but the Rude Sandstorm politely requests that you stay on the party cove. And then finally, please keep all severe drug use to the drug den, where photography has been disabled. Other than that, we're only 15 minutes away. If you look ahead, you can see it now. So let's have our first shot. And the music gets louder, and then you see the Rocco unit, who has come with you guys, begins to hand out shots with Kyle. This is pig snout rum, and slowly each of you receives a shot glass. The music gets a little bit louder, and the ship begins to accelerate towards the island.
Excuse me, I have a list of allergies. Is there someone that I could refer it to, or have my manager email it to, or something?
The rocket was turning away. The whole head turns all the way around, and then the body turns all the way back around.
Did you guys get that? My manager might have already sent it. I don't know.
We did not receive a list. Can I please? It holds out a hand.
Oh, okay. Well, I only have the short list here, but I can give you my manager's number. He's got the full list.
You can transmit it directly to me.
All right. You got a pen?
Ceilia immediately walks by and is taking pictures of the logo of the bottle and just being like, sponsored.
You get a little airdrop that requests that you send the information.
Oh.
And you can see they just start twitching a little bit as just gigabytes of data go down. You can just see how are you alive? It just keeps going down. There's a little of smoke that goes out of their neck, and the eyes just shut down as he reboots. The music gets a little bit louder, and you can see.
The shot?
You can if you want. They're literally rebooting right now.
All right. I guess YOLO.
As you get a little closer to the island, before you even get within the actual reef itself, you can hear a little bits of the music. You can see very far off into the distance, to the east, there is what appears to be some kind of an event happening. You see what look like floating bleachers and dozens of people who are in crowds, and they seem to be watching these ships that are racing around in a circle. But before too long, the beautiful beaches come into view. You can see palm trees. You can see dense vegetation, succulents. The sand here is crystalline and perfect. This is a picturesque beach. There is grassy areas and things like that kind of transitions further on. You can see there are people who are sitting on the beach. There are little lounge chairs that have been put up around a bonfire. There are, you see what is probably the drug den. It is a literal cave, and there is smoke billowing out of it. There is a stage, and you can see people setting up right now an elaborate setting of lights and smoke machines and spotlights that are directed down towards the crowd. There is a bar that is right up on the beach. There are people all along this, and there are drinks that are being given out. You do see a few other what look like maybe wait staff who are bringing drinks and food to other people. And as you look down on the way to the beach, you can see there are starfish and tiny pink sea turtles and dozens of different species of fish. This has been a place that has been constructed to be sold. And looking around, you can see everybody taking pictures. You can see Ceilia is doing these little snapshots and then editing things out. There is so much free advertising happening for this company right now.
It's certainly not.
Hey,
can Dawn do an infosphere research on building islands and what's that kind of just the idea and the kind of the history of that happening?
Yeah, make a history check.
Hey, Ceilia.
Yeah.
That is.
Do you remember why we're
plus
here?
0.
They said something about narcotics. That's drugs, right?
Good Hylax.
Good.
Oh, Ceilia just rolls her eyes.
Okay. So I think I'm gonna go check that out. Because that seems like maybe that's a good place to find narcotics.
Celia snaps her fingers, and when doing that, her beach maxi dress changes into like a bikini with a wrap skirt.
Phenomenal. Very nice. And then you see a couple other people all look over, and then you see one person who has to like reach into their bag and they take out what looks like a metal detector. And as they pass it over, this is like the older version of Celia's dress where they have to like manually change it every time. And other people have various like different things. Somebody has a glamour projector and they like change their projected image. But for just a moment, you can see they're wearing sweats. But like all different kinds of things happen. And before too long, you can all land on this beach. One by one, you can get off. Can everybody make a perception check, please?
Where's Celia roll?
Woo!
Oh,
Natural 20 for Spring.
14.
Love that. Total of 26.
15.
Okay.
18.
Okay.
18.
25.
21.
Nice.
So, wow, good rolls all around.
We're
Very
level
nice.
3 for
Yeah, I know. That's
We
great.
always put points perception, though.
So,
You got it.
when you look around and you get on, people are doing all kinds of things. First of all, as you get onto the beach, there is 5 or 6 people all lined up, and each person, even though it is like 1 in the afternoon, barely a shadow being cast, people have set up ring lights and are doing like mandalas on the beach. There are people building like elaborate sandcastles and filming that. It is just like influencers that have lined the whole side of the beach. The other side of this beach in the cove is taken up by a bar. And for most of you, that is primarily where your attention is being brought to, the bar and this like little mandala section. Chet, you, with a little bit of a higher roll, are also seeing that within this kind of like little bar, one of the individuals that you had gotten some information on, sitting right there, you can see Summer Gladstone, can't remember her name. But
Summer Gladwell. Gladwood.
you can see Summer, and she is sitting at the very end of the bar, just drinking. There's nobody next to her. There's an empty seat right there at the moment. And then for you, with the natural 20, suddenly your vision just like expands. And for a moment, this is like you see everything as a technical specification. And so everything kind of clicks together. You see how this island is really almost like an out-of-the-box platform that has had like sand put on it and like other things added to it. And you also see within the drug den itself, there is a 12-armed hookah, and written across it, like this is probably 200 feet away and in the dark, but you just barely can see it. Somebody takes out a flashlight and takes flash photography in there, and somebody like swats their communicator down into the sand. The hookah reads the Fuck It Bucket. And it is a 12-armed hookah, and sitting on the other side of it is Zaskatane Hagon. And then finally, you can see all around the main stage where you can see like the equipment has finally been set up, and like people are beginning to gather around. And so the concert itself probably starting pretty soon. You can see in the crowd, standing like head and shoulders above everybody else, their torso, you can still see the handle of the jackhammer goes out into her shoulders, but otherwise this like beefy built female looking humanoid that at one point was a jackhammer, now an SRO. And they are like in the main crowd, and even though there is no music, they look pretty jazzed to go. They're there for the mosh pit. That is what you see with the natural 20. And actually with the natural 20, what I'll say is suddenly in your vision, those sunglasses just fall. And the third pair of sunglasses shifts in such a way that suddenly they're pointed at a boat. And you can see this boat has a number of individuals who look like roadies. They're all wearing like the Rude Sandstorm like gear and stuff like that. They're unloading boxes of fireworks. They're unloading what looks like a huge cake, all kinds of things. This is like the party supply boat, and it's landing on the other side of the island.
Sick fireworks, dude.
And so it seems like they're beginning to set those up in the forest behind the stage itself, probably for like a finale situation.
Okay.
What's the light situation in the place we're in?
Quite bright.
Okay.
It's 1 p.m., 1:30 p.m.
I see normal light as dim light. I have low light vision.
So Spring,
have
because
my
she has an
sunglasses, so
augmentation that
balances
allows her
out.
to speak telepathically, that allows us to communicate telepathically, she's gonna communicate to Sprocket what she has seen, but, just telepathically, so nobody hears. And she's gonna be like, Sprocket, should we split up? Should we stay together? What do you think?
Well, these glasses let us see what the other ones can see, so perhaps we should split up.
Okay. Do you want to take Zascatane or Katie? She is a jackhammer.
Is Ceilia
DM
nearby
question.
these two?
Yes.
What is a jackhammer in the Starfinder world?
A literal jackhammer.
So like a literal. Okay.
There are some tools that are still very useful.
Okay.
And like there are it's no longer like a engine driven jackhammer. This probably uses like
energy
quantum
cell.
impulses or whatever, but functionally it is a jackhammer.
Gotcha.
Yes.
It probably doesn't have as
I'd
much.
like to check out that jackhammer.
An
Celia
SRO
like strides over and it's like,
Me too.
We're not talking out loud. We're not.
Never mind.
But if Celia's,
Celia's-
if Celia's there,
if Celia sees the jackhammer lady, Celia's like,
so Spring will be like, it looks like Celia's heading over there. Over to me.
Don is going to head over to the bar,
Okay.
and as he gets to the bar, he's going to bartender, I would like 3 glasses. One with all ice, one with lukewarm water for dipping, and the third one, well, that's a trade secret.
You can see this woman, beautiful woman, just wearing a bikini. She goes, "Let me get my manager," and she walks back, and you can see this huge like troll dude come out. And he's smoking a cigar, and he goes, "What do you want?"
Just give me, and I'm gonna look over. She's at the bar tray.
Yeah.
I'll have what they're having.
Turns, and you can see their eye like flicks over, and they look at you out of the corner of their eye, but then they just kind of pay back attention. Go ahead and make a will saving throw.
Jesus Christ! Here we go.
for your head to not explode.
Well, this is
Oh, wow. That's a 4, but I think I have a lot of will.
probably not enough.
Optimism.
Let's see here.
I was gonna go also over to the bar.
Okay. A 9. Okay.
Not good.
I'm
Or
gonna.
maybe
Suddenly, you feel. You know when you brush your teeth, how you can feel your lips being like pushed out at times? It almost feels like that in your head. It feels like something is just kind of pushing and poking, and you kind of shake it away, and you don't feel anything.
Okay.
Maybe nothing.
Because Chet doesn't remember anything about any of these people other than the fact that he saw some posters and he sees her and is like, "Oh, she looks familiar." So like goes over and be like, "Hi, excuse me."
You, Don, you see this woman like stiffen a little bit as Chet approaches, but she coughs a little bit and turns around to face you.
I don't mean to be rude, but is this seat taken? You seem very familiar to me. Have we met before?
Suddenly, your headache disappears.
Yeah.
Make a wisdom saving throw. Will saving throw, sorry.
I love summer.
21.
She turns to you and she says, "I'm waiting for somebody. Please go away." And you feel so strongly. You have never felt more strong. This is almost like the first time you ever saw a wave that you want to go away.
Cool. All right. I'm gonna get a drink and then go away.
I'm gonna,
She
as
turns
he's
back
saying
to the
that, I'm gonna come over with the drink that Summer has. I apologize for my friend. He's just got his feet wet, and this is his first time getting his, and I point to drinking, his time wet.
Bartender, can I get 2 shots of tequila?
You can see she closes her eyes for a second as he like shouts right in her ear. And then she says, "Thank you, Don, but I don't need another drink."
Ah, I see you know me from my competitive eating circuit.
Yes.
Well, a very good tasting drink, I have to say.
Do you need something?
The only thing I need is recognition of my fans and a nice little drink. to wash all these meat pucks down. And I
You can
reach
see-
down and I have number 41.
She's not looking at you anymore. She leans down and looks across the bar, and then suddenly this woman, this lashunta woman, who was sitting right next to you taking a drink, suddenly turns and just goes, "Are you Don Gorski?"
Well, I don't usually sign autographs, but I take out a meat puck scented pen. Where do you want me to sign it, honey?
And then immediately you could see Summer looks a little bit like a little torn here. But she just like takes a napkin and passes it over, the person that's talking to you. I would say, Chet, make a sense motive check. Take a -10 Chet conditional modifier.
-10, that's harsh.
Yeah, it's the hardest that you could do.
Hold on.
But that's just based on Chet.
I think I have something.
While he looks for
Yes.
that, very important. What is the color of the apocalypse crystal?
Well, it's like
yellow.
just kind of has it all.
Yellow orange.
Ceilia.
There's a color on it. It's that color.
It's that color. Ceilia touches it and casts varied veneer,
Okay.
which makes an object either a broken object appear functional or a functional object appear broken.
Great.
And just makes it look like a really beautifully sparkly bright yellow crystal.
Okay.
So it's just like kind of looks like a defunct apocalypse crystal.
Sure.
Like she just has like this really cool piece of jewelry.
Yeah, of course. No problem.
It was a 14 minus 10.
Yeah, everything seems pretty cool.
This place seems pretty cool.
I will sign the napkin and
You
hand it
sign
back
the
to her.
napkin.
Did
no
I get
problem.
my 2 shots?
You did get your 2 shots. No problem.
Woo!
Polly, what are you
Go
doing?
away.
Okay, you go away.
Um,
Free action.
I guess Polly's going to go down to the. Well, so the stage? Is there any music, or are they just setting up?
Right now, they've just completed setting up. There's no music yet. You haven't seen a skittermander yet, but people are gathering, and so it seems like there is an energy that like things are beginning to happen. Like things like they're expecting a show to start.
Okay. She's gonna go, since she's a musician, she's like, I know the left side of the stage is the best place to stand to get the best audio. So she goes and stands by the left side of the stage.
Okay. You go over. You stand by the left side of the stage. Make a perception check.
Don't mind if I do. Ooh, natural one.
Natural one. You are standing right next to somebody who, like, you're like, oh man, this is a big person. As you're about to turn and look at them, suddenly you just hear, give me 1 second here. You just hear somebody just go, yeah, and then I told them that they should go unbox themselves some seats. And then you turn and you look, these 2 little cuttlefish just like high five through the telekinetic water. And they turn, and you watch the little eyes of these squids turn and like zoom through the crowd, and you can see they like are looking at your otter companions that came with you.
Well, if I roll a natural one, she just goes, that was weird.
No problem. So you do that.
I think after a certain amount of time,
Okay.
would go check out this drug den.
Okay. Pause that for a second.
I'll go with Chet.
Okay, so that's the next destination. You are going there first, or who's going to Zaskatane first?
He's going.
Okay. What were you doing?
That's the drug den.
I was gonna go approach Jackhammer Woman.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and approach Jackhammer Woman.
All right, so Spring is gonna approach, and she's gonna just walk up and be like, "Excuse me, your not outfit, your setup is incredible. I'm Spring, Sprocket and Spring. I think our fans would love to learn a little bit more about it. Do you have time for a quick?" And then the drone interview.
The whole time that you're talking, doesn't pay attention to you, completely ignores you, doesn't pay attention to you, and then you say interview you, and suddenly it's like on a quick swivel. It just like immediately facing you. You don't see it turn, and they just go, okay.
Oh, fantastic. Can you?
One condition.
Okay.
When the moshing starts, I get to throw you.
Deal.
She holds out a huge hand.
I hold out my paw.
She gives you a hand, and you can tell in this hand. Make a sense motive check.
Does Ceilia see any of this?
Yeah, oh yeah. Now you turn, and this is happening literally right next to you.
Celia's a little
Like
crestfallen.
you watch the little squids look, and as they look, the otter is like coming over, and then you hear one of them go, "Oh, Tessie, look away!" And they just like turn and look away.
12. For
12.
motive.
With a 12, you can tell they're trying like not to hurt your hand, but it's a tight grip. It's very much like a regulated, like they pump your hand and you can feel like the jackhammer rhythm there. Though they have like gained sentience, at their core, they're very much still a jackhammer.
Okay. So Hannah doesn't know what to ask, but Spring begins asking questions about the mechanical makeup and sort of like how she operates and what is, through mind and like what's, just questions about the setup. And she's got the little drone, which has a camera feature, and the drone is just snapping photos. While Spring is doing this, she's doing her best to like once she gets in, if she finds a way to be like, and so what this is so amazing. I mean, what do you do with it? What do you use your skills for?
So as you're like talking about this, and she's just like, yeah, I was a jackhammer, and then I stopped being a jackhammer because I could do so much more. And like you talk about this, and she just like gained sentience one day. After like upgrade after upgrade after upgrade, she says that she had a partner, and this is probably the person that owned her as a jackhammer, who like was very attached, and she like flexes, and like you see the little handles like bend up, and she just goes like, obviously like has good taste. But the story is basically they went through firmware after firmware, and long after they had gone through their shelf life, this person, similar to Dan and their laptop actually, just replaced, like, even though it was crazy expensive, was replacing with like, original parts, and eventually they just gained sentience from repeated upgrades well past the shelf life of this item.
Wow, and that's amazing. So I mean, you're sentient now, and you're obviously so smart. I mean, what do you do with your time? How are you doing? What are you doing?
Well, mostly, I try to find places where, and then suddenly lights begin to play from like the stage, and then like they turn, and then they go, and mostly I just like to party. You said I could throw you. And they lift you up into the air, and they turn, and they look at you, and they say, hey, can you catch?
Oh, I'm not there.
Oh, right, you're not there. Cool. They yeet you. Give me a second. We're going to get back to that.
My little otter body.
Yeah, Celia's walked away.
No problem. So we're going to get back to that in a second. But for all of you on this island now, suddenly this stage begins to like play. And it's like this kind of like heavy industrial thing. And looking up, you can see wearing a black cape, a skittermander. They're wearing what looks like, if you imagine like the Elvis white suit, but in black and purple with like rhinestones, that is what the skittermander is wearing. They have dark, almost kiss-like makeup on their face. And each of the arms is touching either an electronic turntable, a computerized console, or two of the arms are holding this guitar that is doing nothing at the moment. But they begin to play. And so people are now beginning to get drawn in that direction for what it's worth. And as all of you turn your attention, you see this little otter companion of yours up into the air. And because it's 2:10, we're going to take a quick break.
Nice.
So we'll get back. But would you guys like a little visual perspective?
Of course.
Clear everything.
God, everything.
It's a big one. Who has the Dushinto shock?
I don't think anyone would do that.
What kind of device?
It's an advanced melee. Right?
Joe, are the puka shells and sandal based on an item that I can look up?
Nope.
Oh.
Totally. Oh my god!
Wow!
Oh
What
my
a
God.
beach party!
Oh, you used part of the crane.
And so because of that, the stage does turn.
Oh.
You'll notice that there's lights. If you guys could turn that on once it goes down.
Yeah.
Flimsy cardboard
How did you get it to
system.
turn?
Here, I got this.
I got the
It's because the
You can let
crane
go, Matt.
automatically turns.
No, you
so
use
that-
another magnet.
There's no magnet. It just rests on there, so you can turn it as one.
What?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh, you just turned
Sick.
the battle cam on so that.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, we gotta take a picture of that. That's
So
awesome.
you all at the moment can place yourselves where you are. You'll see So Katie Crash is represented by that huge android or cyborg golem that is standing near the front. And so you need to place yourself somewhere in that
Which
direction.
direction am I being thrown? Can I have one of those?
Oh, you're getting thrown off the big platform,
No,
huh?
you're being thrown straight up. So
Straight
you are
up.
actually, at the moment...
Oh, she's tossing you up like some sort of little stuffed animal.
And so, like, all of you, as you turn and the music begins, like, this heavy music begins to play, suddenly, like, you see this otter, like, up in the air, spotlit, like, takes all the light that is being projected down onto the crowd, like, lit from behind. This will be great for your channel. But...
And the camera is snapping.
Yeah. Oh, for sure,
I'm
for
going
sure.
surfing now.
This is where we're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back in just a little bit. All right. And we're back from our break. Look at that. All right. When we last left off, I'll pull this up. Actually, I'll put our close-up camera on. You can see our miniatures and things. You can see them even closer on Instagram at @LBronRPG. But could you make a reflex saving throw, please, as you are yeeted up into the air? The music begins to play. The lights begin to flash.
Can we get some club music?
Yeah.
14 for the reflex saving throw.
I'll just give you guys that techno music back a little louder.
Nice.
Here we go, rude sandstorm.
In the air, Spring is like,
It's like, I imagine, like, you know how ferrets, they can do like the big floppy bodies, just
no,
like
it's
that.
100%
Yeah,
what's
fantastic.
happening.
What was your check?
14.
14. So you are tossed up. And as you go end over end, you go down and you see just this gray alien, very classic, like gray looking alien, who like reaches up with these 4-fingered hands and they catch you. And it's a little rough. Like you get real close to the sand, but they don't drop you. And they pick you back up and suddenly you are like surfing across the crowd. There's this big bonfire behind you and the waves and the light. This is, it feels pretty cool in this moment. And you also have the camera going. And so, you know, you're getting great content right now.
And so telepathically to Sprocket, she's like, ow, 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 ow.
I might be too far away to hear you.
100 feet? Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably about.
I didn't get to say, but I wanted to find the other pair of sunglasses.
Okay.
So I don't know how far away those
make
are.
Make a. I'll say make a perception check, and this is like you matching up. Like you take the sunglasses, you're looking around and trying to find reference points that connect the two, because you don't see a ship right here. There is one matching detail that you might be able to match up.
13.
13. With the 13, you put the sunglasses down, you look, you see a ship, you see like a guy, and then he just like puts a box down right in front of the sunglasses. You see nothing.
I know where the ship is though on the map.
You do? Yeah, you could walk up. So that ship is in that direction towards Olive.
Okay.
And so you could head in that direction if you want.
Alright, I'll just let you know that I'm gonna see if I can just grab the other pair of sunglasses.
Okay, no problem.
And if I see Chet, I don't know if I do, I will tell
Yeah, I
him.
think because I'd be walking away to
Yeah,
go.
you see,
Chet as
you
well.
definitely see Chet. You see Chet and Don Gorski
Do
walking
I
across the
see?
sand.
Do I see my little?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
Chet.
oh, my little bro Manny.
You mentioned that you were interested in fireworks, so I want to go check out the ship that has all the
Oh,
fireworks. if you
dude, secret
wanna come.
fireworks.
I will follow
Oh, you
you
know
as
where they
well.
are.
Very good.
Okay, 3 of you head off to go find some fireworks.
Whoa. I wanted to go and see if they had any Hekaron hashish in the drug den.
Oh,
Because I was
Spring-
gonna. Have
Spring
you
spotted one of the
Bro,
poster
have
people
you
that
ever
might be.
had some Hekaron hashish and then hit some waves right after that?
Chet, we do
first?
not have time for riding waves. We are on
You've
a
always
mission.
got time for waves, dog.
Let us go and follow.
That reminds me. Spring saw the arms dealer guy from the poster in the drug cave. I think he's one of the people we're supposed to follow.
Alright.
Yeah.
So do we go get some drug? Some
Lead the way, Sprocket.
narcotics?
Up to you. I'm gonna go towards the ship and just see if I can find the glasses and find what happened to the agent.
Alright, I'll catch up to you.
Okay.
I'll get you some.
Dawn is
You
gonna
want
go
just some
with
of the
Sprocket.
Okay.
good stuff?
Yes.
Alright. You can borrow one of my boards too if you don't have one.
Oh, thank you. Oh, is your board, is it just an analog board or is it technical?
Oh no, I got my longboard, but I also got a couple others.
Oh,
It's just
Spring and I
they're
would,
back
I
on
meant
the
to
party
ask.
though.
Spring and I would love to have you on our channel sometimes
Oh.
to review some of your
Oh yeah,
boards.
yeah, for sure, Dad.
Just give me your manager's contact.
Oh yeah, you got a pen?
Dawn's gonna pull
I'm
out
just
his.
gonna bling.
Okay, yeah,
get the
no problem.
request.
All right.
So are you sending a request to the manager?
No, I'm just getting his
Okay,
manager
no problem.
information right now. From
You have the information.
I'm gonna turn to Sprocket. Sprocket, I want you to walk a couple yards ahead of me, and I will follow you from behind.
Oh, weird.
Walk very slowly and sneakily.
slowly and sneakily.
Yes.
I guess I could try.
if there is any danger, I want you to reach out to me with any secret words or code words you can think of, and I'll come over.
Okay.
Specifically, we're not going to plan one out, but any that you could think of, say them in that moment.
Do you have any words you were planning?
I don't know.
Try applesauce.
Applesauce. And maybe I'll say you put so.
Wait, no, that one's too long.
I think meat puck will be fine. I also have to get a certain amount of quotas
Grapefruit.
of saying.
That's only 2 syllables.
I have to get meat pucks so many times in a sentence to get more of this sponsorship
What?
deal.
Grape.
I'm gonna start walking towards.
I'm
where
gonna-
I think the
I'm
ship
gonna
is,
follow behind
and I'm
him.
gonna
Make a
do it
stealth check.
sneakily.
Can I also
Make a
roll
stealth check.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Dolly, what are you doing?
Natural 20.
Natural 20. Phenomenal.
Nice.
What are you doing?
Don Gorski, super
What are you doing?
smart.
Oh, yes. I thought you were tapping me to... Anyway, what am I doing? She's gonna wait for...
Oh,
She's actually gonna position
nice.
herself...
Nice, we're good. Sneaky.
I didn't realize the platform was raised, so she's gonna stand back here.
Okay.
Seeing Katie and Summer. I want to be equidistant in between them.
Okay.
And then she's gonna just start watching the music.
Okay. No problem. You start watching the music. You see this Skittermander begins to play these different instruments, and the lights flash. There's a smoke machine that lets off, and there's glitter in that cannon as well. So that just explodes out over the crowd. And there are these spotlights that seem to like focus. First, you actually see it follow your brunei companion, and then it like shifts over to this like one of the Greys is doing like essentially like an infosphere dance, and just like all different kinds of things. These spotlights are like trained on whoever is like kind of performing the best at the moment, it seems. But that is what you're doing. Celia, what are you doing? Cecilia, sorry.
Celia.
Celia.
Celia, seeing that Katie like immediately glommed onto the attention of Spring, is going to like just be a little sad that she has that missed connection, and she's going to cast Charming Veneer,
Okay.
which to just give herself a little bit of like a tragically sad and lonely, but still in a really beautiful way.
Yeah.
Kind of veneer, the very
Really
approachable.
nice,
Like,
soft light.
you wanna go and comfort me. And goes over to the bar and orders what was the pig snout rum?
Yeah.
Because they're a sponsor.
Okay, no problem. You order a pig snout rum.
And
It
she
is
like
certainly
kind of
a sponsor.
positions herself like not like at the end of the bar because Summer's there, but like maybe 2 seats down.
Sure. You look really sad, tragically approachable, and almost instantly there's this like dude in Hawaiian shirt. He actually he reminds you a little bit of like a human Chet, but like immediately pulls up and he just goes, "Oh, what's wrong? You would look so much nicer if you smiled."
Oh, that's not
And
Chet.
from the other side of you, you see Summer just turn, and
Summer uppercuts him.
you can see this individual
Chet is a
suddenly just kind of
respectful
twitches a
and
little bit and
righteous
goes,
bro.
"I'll go fuck myself now," and just turns and walks away from the bar.
Like Celia like watches that happen. It's like, huh. And it's like kind of does she clock that Summer was the cause of that, or because Cara knows?
Summer will like look over and just kind of like tilt the glass ever so slightly towards you as a gesture of goodwill, and then turn back. It's almost like she was just harassed pretty recently.
Chet just asked.
Chet, yeah, it was Chet. Fuck that guy.
Chet was literally hitting on
I was just.
let's get at it.
I was
Celia
just
kind of,
asking
like,
for
gives a little,
drinks,
like-
and I saw someone I thought I knew.
She turns her attention back to her drink, and you do see it looks like she's looking for somebody every now and then. Make a sense motive check.
Can I make sense motive check while also casting detect?
You sure can.
So Celia's very self-centered and isn't very empathetic. So that's going to be a 9.
Yeah, you don't really get a good sense as to who they're looking for or what they might be looking for, but you do cast sense thoughts. And so for the first round, you suddenly are aware of just sentience around you. There are like all manner of people. Not every intelligent looking person, for what it's worth, pings. There are a few people who don't quite reach that intelligence threshold.
Wow.
You can see.
Mysteriously gets like nothing from a certain companion.
I didn't mention names, but
Chet's actually kind of smart. Average intelligence.
there you
Chet.
go. That says a lot about crypto. So you
Chet is not about crypto. Chet is about surfing.
you have your drink. You were there. You don't clock anything especially, but you do notice the intelligences on the second round. I believe you get intelligence scores. Okay. Give me 1 second.
And then third round.
Now, Joe, real quick, do we have a group chat between the influencers? Like, does that exist for us?
You didn't create one, so no.
Certainly not.
But you've got my manager's number. Oh!
Summer has
Have
an
a
intelligence of 20.
Yeah, that's very helpful in our game because that's how we info
Oh my
each other.
goodness.
Oh, why didn't we think of that?
Because I
Dude, the future is so cool.
Okay, so I'm not stunned.
Yes, you were not stunned.
Imagine.
So you notice that, and at the same time, I would say with that, you get the sense that the perception that they are doing, not entirely visual, not entirely like they're listening, they are doing something not dissimilar from what you are doing right now. For what it's worth. So you were doing that. You have Dolly listening to the music. Going over to the ship. What you guys approach? What was your stealth check?
21.
21?
Natural 20.
Natural 20. Okay. So the music fades into the background for you as you all just kind of make your way through.
Are you the frog? Nice.
Celia's gonna hone in on Katie
Okay.
with the detect thoughts. So that's
Sure.
a will save to prevent me from reading the thoughts.
Ooh, Will versus Will.
For Katie. That's a 7.
Ooh.
So on the inside for this individual, you could hear like on the inside, it's just like not so much thoughts. You are hearing Katie is somebody who doesn't think in like a stream of consciousness. There's no words, there's no language. You are just seeing abstract shapes and concepts and things that really would need to be like verbalized to have them brought into attention. This is somebody who thinks about things in a very different way, and that's a little bit disconcerting at first. But you see lights, you see movement, and you get the sense that this is somebody who is just exhilarated to be alive. They lived for a very long time as an object, and now they're just doing whatever they want. And right now, what they really want to do is be in a mosh pit. And you like hear like for just a snap second, I'm gonna punch that guy, and then just and like somebody just slides across the sand, and you could hear them just go, "That was a good one," and they just like are crawling away into the woods now. But like, yeah, there's no, and for what it's worth, no malice there. There's not a drop of malice. This is somebody having a great time. You do that.
This jackhammer
Little extra
person.
sadness.
The two of you
Yeah.
become like shadows here, and you blend into this jungle.
Not even the wrappers of my meat pucks when I'm opening them up make sound.
Yeah, no, it's silent. You actually, so you actually,
Oh,
pri-
yeah. I'm on 51.
so prior to coming here, you took the meat pucks out of the wrapper and you put them into. So the Department of Defense, and this is real, by the way. The Department of Defense has a Velcro that is silent. This
yeah.
is absolutely real. I've witnessed it in real life. It's crazy.
Don probably has that when he goes to
And so you have pre-packaged into these. Yeah, this is for like when you're eating in theaters and
Yeah,
stuff. You
he's a
have
very
enough.
polite eater.
Exactly. And so you silent on Velcro and are just eating meat pucks, no problem. But you like very, very stealthy make your way through the forest. You see on several occasions people trucking things to and from the ship. There is food, there is more alcohol, there is like cake that is being brought over, several like big white sheet cakes. And then one like fancier cake, and so you get this kind of like a wedding. Like there's one cake that they're presenting, and then everybody's getting sheet cake. But you wait until there's two of them that go to the ship, and they come back, and they're pushing like an especially heavy cart. And even with that natural 20, Don, you hear one of them say, "It's going to take us like 15 minutes to get all this over. So I hope nothing happens at that time." They lift this thing up and they begin to drag it over. And so you have like a 15-minute window to just like peruse this ship.
I'm gonna turn to Spring.
Sprocket.
Sprocket. I just heard from one of the workers that they're gonna take a 15-minute siesta. This would be the moment that you and me make our moves on the ship.
Very good. Let me know if you see a pair of sunglasses around on the beach that look like these.
Make a perception check. As you look around, you look at the ship and you can see right in front of you, this is the ship like that brought all the party supplies. It needs to be right around here somewhere.
You just walk
Actually-
around until the pictures line up.
The glasses can see the ship, right?
Correct.
And are the workers still around? Or
No.
did
They just left.
Oh.
You don't see yourself quite
All
yet,
right, and
but
then I'm
like
just gonna run along the beach like this until I can see myself on the glasses.
you run, and you're like waiting for yourself, and you're waiting for yourself to run from left to right, but then suddenly it's just the other direction, and then you realize like they're upside down, and so you like look around and you walk over and like amongst some ferns, you push them aside, and there's this fallen bit of glasses, and you actually see like crushed grass that goes back, where this individual probably had to like flee and leave them behind. Make a perception check.
Just picturing an otter like you doing
Can
a
I-
crazy run.
Can I also make one? I'm probably right next to him.
Yeah.
We're both very loosey-goosey,
Done.
apparently.
I found the glasses. Let's see. 11 on perception.
22.
Oh, thank goodness.
With an 11, you look around and man, they just dropped some sunglasses, but you found them. And so that's fantastic. And for what it's worth, as you are like put down from the crowd and like the mosh pit's still happening very much, Spring, you are seeing now like suddenly you see just running by and then suddenly in both glasses now Sprocket.
And Spring just thinks to herself, like, well, at least one of us is being productive.
I hand the glasses to Dawn, and like, oh, maybe you should wear them. Just so. Do you remember what they do?
Yes, I remember. And I take them on. I clean them off a little bit, and then I put them on. Here, I'm going to give you my comms number, too. And I give you my comms number as well.
Thank you. Let me give you mine and Spring's.
With a 20,
Yeah.
you see that this crushed grass leads to further fallen objects. And so tracing back, you find a gravity pistol. You find a USR identification for Agent Penguin, who is a relatively generic-looking human. And then you also find, although unfortunately broken, some kind of a controller. This is something that looks like a radio controller for like an RC car or something. It has 18 buttons that are labeled, and they're all switched into the down position, and it's currently powered off.
I'm going to hand this to Sprocket,
Okay.
and I'm going to turn to Sprocket and be, this is the body of the agent who went missing.
There's no body, just belongings.
These are the belongings.
You heard, they fled and had to leave stuff behind.
This remote control is the body.
I'm about to do some stuff.
Things are gonna get weird.
I'm about to do
Where?
stuff.
I have.
Alright, let's see.
I'm gonna just say to Sprocket, I have reason to believe that perhaps maybe these supplies are not just for eating. And I don't mean in my way of eating. And I'm like, touch my belly.
Yeah.
Celia's at the bar.
Yep.
And she's kind of like out of the corner of her eye, like eyeing Summer. Does Ceilia recognize any of the tattoos that Summer has on her?
Make a cultures check.
Are you keeping the badge
Fucking
and
cracking
the
dice.
gun?
That's an 18.
I'll give you the gun.
An 18. So yeah, actually, give me 1 second here.
Well, I'm not there, but
You had mentioned Hylax, and so maybe you do have some religious background, but give me 1 second here. Oh, it's all the way at the beginning. My apologies. Okay. So, you recognize there is what looks like a complex series of overlapping diamond-like shapes, and in the middle of them, a closed eye. And this is the symbol for the Convent of the Sacred Eye, which is a religious group that believes that there is a entity that exists somewhere in the galaxy, probably living within a black hole or some other deeply entropic place in space, that has had their eye closed, and that's why the drift is in such a chaotic state. And by opening it, they could resolve this and bring a whole new era of light to the galaxy. Flat earthers, essentially, but for a starfinder. Yeah.
I would like to cast mending on the object.
Okay.
Ooh, nice.
And then when that's done, when it's fixed, I'll just cast identify and see if I can identify it.
Sure, no problem. You cast mending, and you watch as the little gadgets and gears all like spring back up, and suddenly the little light flicks on, and you can see fully powered. What does identify do?
Well, while I'm fixing it, I also take out from one of my hidden pockets a spoon, and then
Same
turns
one that
into an Omni tool.
Fantastic.
Well, I look at it, I'm like I look at Don, I'm like, turn into the Omni tool, and that's how I fix it.
Fantastic.
And identify says, attempt to identify the function of a magic or technological device.
Okay,
with
technological.
Engineering.
Nice.
I get a +10 to the check.
Make an engineering check then.
All right.
As he's doing this, I'm going to make a group chat between me, Sprocket, and Agent Spider, who gave us this job.
Okay.
And I'm just going to message him, and we have found the ID of the missing agent. We are investigating the ship at the moment. We will give you more details as they come. And then I'm just going to put at the end of the sentence, 59 meat pucks.
You get a message back from the agent, and they just go, I don't care how many meat pucks.
One day you will.
25 on the engineering, but also the DC part is removed by 5 because of I think some Tinker background or something.
Easy. So this is a Jacinto brand fireworks controller. This is the thing that could probably control this entire fireworks display that is, you just saw them like trucking the last couple bits away. And so you do have the controller for all of those pyrotechnics. There's 18 switches. And so you imagine each one initiates a different stage from the show. Throwing them all at once is essentially, that's dropping a carpet bomb in the forest.
Do I think that there's more than one of these controllers?
Probably. And so
Okay.
if there's 2, that means that this one was probably taken by the agent because nobody recovered it. They probably have a backup that they're using or plan to use.
And then at this moment, after I send the message and he does his remote control, I'm going to point to the ship. Now's our chance, Sprocket. Let's go.
All right, I follow.
So you dart onto the ship. You have about 5 minutes left, but you run on just quick to be able to see. Make a perception check as you do.
Something about being with Dawn makes Sprocket feel more like a secret agent.
Yeah, sure. And you're noticing too, Spring, as you're watching, Sprocket's now getting closer to the ground. There's definitely a shiftier, kind of point of view.
Would I be able to use my diligent searcher feat?
5 minutes, so I don't think so. You need to take 10, right?
Oh, is it 10? I don't
so.
remember. Okay. Then it's 9 plus 9. 18.
With an 18, you go into the ship. And interestingly, there is no kitchen or galley, and you didn't really see a food preparation area, but there are other ways that you could prepare food. Are you looking for anything in particular?
I'm gonna say to Sprocket, it's very weird how there's no refrigeration on this ship.
Why would they need refrigeration?
Well, for all this food supply.
Do I think it's weird?
Food typically is refrigerated to keep it not from going bad. So it is weird. You've seen people trucking out boxes of food and things like that. Although, interestingly, you haven't seen it served.
I think there might be some maybe hidden compartments on this ship or something. Spread out quickly, but synchronize your watches. We only have about 3 or so minutes before we have to get off this ship.
Okay.
So with your previous checks, as you comb through the ship, it's pretty clean, and it's a rental ship, and then you get down to the cargo hold, and there are crates still there. Not everything has been unloaded, and so probably that's why you're rushing. If you want, you can pop open one of these crates.
Okay.
Yeah, no problem.
Don is going to use his teeth to pop it open.
Make a fortitude saving throw.
I imagine Don has probably very good teeth. That's a 3. He's probably going to lose a teeth.
So you watch as Don Gorski does this big, creepy smile. It gets wider and wider, and he grabs onto the teeth and like stretches them out down, and then goes, and then you watch as the tooth just snaps, and you can see like there's a little bit of blood that comes out. You can see like there's a hollow part on the inside, and so a cavity has been eating away at it, like not looking good. And you leave part of your tooth embedded in the crate, and it is not open.
Do you have a tool?
What kind of tool? I pick up my spoon. Is there any type of, you turn into an Omni tool, and is one of those Omni tools a tooth from crate extraction tool?
No, but you could, even with the, literally even with the spoon, that is a better tool to open a wooden crate. And so, like, literally that is probably good enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's not do this stealthily then. Because in his mind, opening with his teeth is stealthily. He's going to assist you with your spoon by just like trying to like pry it open because he's a strong person.
Sure. So you take out the spoon. First of all, Don Gorski says, "Hey, do you have some way of doing this?" And you're like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Great," and pries the box open. Without a check, you do with the spoon. That's really, you just need something to like get a little like finger underneath so you can pull it up.
Yeah,
You pull away the top. And you are expecting to see like cake, or probably because there's no refrigeration, like little prepackaged meals maybe. But it is crushed foam that have been like little plucked areas pulled away, and then individual little vials stand in each single one.
What do I have to take a picture of this?
You have your communicator. I mean, you know, yeah, you can take a picture.
I'll take a picture of it, and do I have like the contact info of like the agent? I don't remember if they gave it to us or...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess give us a group chat.
You have a general contact with them, yes.
Okay, I'll like send them to like the agent.
Okay.
Say like, is this what we're looking for?
A message goes across, and it's just yes, all exclamation marks after it, and then you could just another one. You actually did it. Really? And then like, don't touch those. Be very careful. Just take pictures.
If there's a tooth in this crate, don't ask questions. Should we remove the tooth if it happens to be one of ours?
Question mark.
I'm gonna turn to Sprocket. Sprocket, we don't have time. We have to leave.
There's just like blood coming down his face too.
And you can see he's actually enjoying it. I enjoy this flavor of meat puck. I haven't had this before.
Okay. So, you want me to just put the cover back and leave?
And they just message you yes.
Okay, so I'll do that. And real quick, can I turn the Omni-tool into a pliers and take his teeth? Because it...
So at this point, you do hear voices approaching. And so if you want, at this point, go ahead and make stealth checks to try to sneak away. Or if you want to try to hide and like wait for them to pass, you can.
Should we hide? Are there any windows?
Yeah.
We can jump out the window.
All right, let's get through the window.
Okay, make stealth checks. Take a -2 conditional modifier. That's the splash. And then, yeah.
I would like to exit the mosh pit.
Yeah, absolutely. You can exit the mosh pit, no problem.
Right. And I'd like to, in the time that they've been doing this, I'd like to try to make my way over to where I think Sprocket and them are, because that seems to be like where the action is.
Yeah, and no problem. You are so in sync with your partner, Brunei, that you can like kind of follow the same path that you watch them take. And you get over just in time to see the back of these two like crew members as they approach the ship. And you like close your eyes, you look in the periphery, and you can see what they're doing. What was your...
Actually, can I do something else? If I think we're about to be spotted, I'm gonna hit like 5 buttons on the fireworks.
Okay. We can do that in addition to the...
Yeah.
Because we've already said we're going to do that.
So, panicking, you look and you can see like voices, and in the glasses you see Sprocket just look up, look out the window, look down at the controller, and just paw 5 of the switches on, and suddenly there is choo 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 choo, and everybody turns, and there is like this Skittermander turns, and you see like the sunglasses go down, and they look confused, but people are cheering, and you see Summer like look up a little bit confused at this. From inside the drug den, just beyond this bar, you hear like shouting, and a few like muzzles of guns point out. definitely very nervous about this explosion suddenly. And then the fireworks die down. Are you also diving out of the ship?
Yes.
Okay. No roll required. That is enough of a distraction. You see the two crew members like turn around, and one of them just goes, "Oh, you're so fucked," and they just go, "It wasn't me. That's one you set up." And then they just start like slapping each other. And so, is there anything that you're doing at this time? You see like from the viewpoint them like open the window and jump into the water.
Okay, am I within 100 feet now?
Yes.
All right, so telepathically, I'm gonna be like, Sprocket, what the hell? You found drugs. That's pretty good. Like, did you find out like who the person is? We're supposed to figure out like which of these 3 idiots is the drug lord or something.
No. Have the others found anything?
I don't know. Do we have a group chat?
No, but here's Dawn's information.
Okay, thanks.
If Dawn gets the message,
And my
you
managers.
probably include Spring. Okay, and I'll include Chet as well.
Okay.
Yeah, you have
Everybody
our
but-
numbers.
Do we have
Yeah, we exchanged numbers from the last.
Friends.
We exchanged numbers at Hakashita Hana, dude.
We have
Dude.
Polly's
True,
number.
yeah.
Yes.
Okay. We have Polly's number because
Okay.
Polly guessed
Yeah.
it.
Oh, we're in a
That's
group
true.
chat.
Okay.
That's true. So one by one, each of you. So it's kind of like our actual group chat where like 5 of you are in one, and you have another one, and then somebody messages the 5-person one and has to send it again.
Yep.
And it gets a little confusing for like a minute, but then you guys figure it out. Well, after all of that, the agent who has been privy to every single one of these messages just goes, "I could have set this up for you."
Ceilia doesn't see any of the texts from Dawn because she blocked the number.
Spring is gonna be in the chain. She's gonna be like, okay, so I kind of don't think it's Katie because Katie just seems happy to be alive. Anybody else got any intel?
Has Chet been in the drug den?
We'll get to there next. Yeah, that's happening at this time.
Like reading, kind of like feels the communicator buzzing, but doesn't like isn't really. It's not part of the veneer, but telepathically reaches out to Polly, who is close by, and says, "I don't know if Katie is really into the drug life. She's kind of just here to be here and be seen, and honestly, 5. But y'all might want to check into this summer person. Don't get too close, though. She's pretty, like, scary.
Chet's just
But hot.
gonna message the group. Getting
Make a sense motive check.
narcotics.
Phenomenal. And it also has like the little fish scales and everything, you know, like yeah, it's very diverse in
It's
2250.
like one of the options.
Yeah. Oh yeah. When you touch it, it's like whoa, like a huge
Chet's
wheel.
probably like,
There's like a brain, and you could be a fish person.
Dawn, Ceilia. Looks like 2 other numbers.
With a 21 in your, as you are like saying in the group message and you're thinking,
It's the telepathic to Polly.
even better. As you are telepathically saying to Polly, and she's pretty hot. You see, she smirks. So, Chet, you make your way to the drug den. This is before the fireworks are gone off, and so this is like as all of this is happening. This is while Sprocket and
like,
Dawn are like making their way
on
over.
their spy mission.
You walk over to the drug den.
Is there like a door I can knock on? Or...
So literally like this, it is a huge cave formed from rocks, and there's like an opening right at the front.
I'd probably be like, haha, salutations, bros.
So you walk into this little cave. It's a literal cave, and you can see right in front of you the fucket bucket, the 12 armed hookah, and you can see as like they're like all holding this, 4 or 5 people are just dropping different things into the middle, and then like everybody is getting ready to do this just combined. Like it is just a. Actually, from what I'll say, the fucket bucket, more than just a hookah, this is like a pretty technological device because it has a chemical synthesizing component. Yeah.
Whoa. That rig is wacky.
But similar to you, very similar species to you, like a very fish-looking person comes up, bluer of skin, but they go over.
Woioko?
Yeah.
Oh, bro, where you from?
Wait. What's the password?
Dude.
Yeah. Nice. He turns, leads you into the drug den, and he turns to the 4 or 5 people that are there. He just goes, "This dude's pretty cool."
Oh, what's up, bros?
And you can see sitting across from you, this lashunta. They have a fully automatic rifle that is in the crook of their arm. And actually, now that your eyes adjust, every single person in here heavily armed.
time.
Yeah, there you go. Everybody in here is pretty heavily armed.
Oh, what's up, bros?
You can see Zaskatane looks at you and just the sunglasses. He's also wearing everybody in here wearing sunglasses as well.
I like your shirts.
He turns and he puts the sunglasses down and he just goes, "Oh, thank you."
I'm gonna put mine down, which is they're embedded, so just
What do you got to put into the fuck it bucket?
Huh. Well, let me check with my manager.
You can see they all kind of look back and forth, and then the other woioko just goes, "No. There's no official people in here, man. You gotta."
Oh, really? Oh, dude. Oh.
So what do you got? You gotta pay to play.
Oh, well, I got a little bit of Hakeron hash left over from my last trip out there.
Yeah, put that in there.
Oh, yeah, it's that more.
So you go over and you kind of drop
Extra
that in.
dank.
The entire
What?
time, Zaskatane seems to be just regarding you, and trying to get a read on you.
Do I know you from somewhere, Dad? You look so familiar. I saw some other familiar people too, but I don't know.
I'm new here.
Oh, yeah?
So probably
Me
not.
too. My name is Chet. What is your name?
You can call me Zaskatane.
It's nice to meet you, Zaskatane.
He looks at your hands. Now, does Chet get manicures? I mean, Chet's pretty well off.
Chet's an eel dude, a salamander.
Yeah.
So I don't
Doesn't
know
mean
if
you
he
can't
has-
take care of your hands.
Yeah, no, he's got nice hands.
Okay.
He's natural salt scrub all
There
the
you go.
time.
So make a sense motive check. He shakes your hand. It is a firm handshake. Pulls it away.
Ha 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 ha. Sense motive. Ha ha ha. That's an 18.
Okay. With an 18, you feel his thumb press into your hand. He's trying to get a sense for does this person use lotion? How much money does this guy have? You see he looks at your wrist. Is he wearing a watch? This is somebody who is trying to get a read for how much money you have. And then as he kind of looks you up and down, he says, "You look like you enjoy a good time."
Haha, for sure, dude. Yeah. Do you have you ever had some really dank stuff and then just hit the waves right after that first hit?
Sure.
We could do that. I got 3 boards here, dude. Me and my bro, we were gonna go. I came to get.
You can see everybody in the cave is really intense, looking at this. There's one person who has a handful of what looks like pills. And they're about to put it in, and they're just and everybody's just rapt attention, with the exception of Zaskatane, who's paying attention but not quite as intently. But he nods a little bit and he goes, "Give it a few minutes.
Haha, for sure.
I'm trying to get something a little better than what we have here.
Oh, for sure, dude.
But in the meantime, why don't you start us off?"
Oh, for sure, dude.
He hands you this little nozzle. Go ahead.
Oh, very copacetic.
Make a will saving throw.
Haha.
Take a -6 conditional modifier. And pull up my disease tracker.
Oh, God.
It's not quite as Chet.
Ha
Did anyone take the thing that we got offered for healing?
Probably not.
I don't think anybody
It's not the
did.
puka shells, right?
No, not
No.
the puka shells. It was a
not the-
lotion or
Oh
something.
no.
It was a sunscreen. That's the one thing no
Oh no,
one
he did
picked
take
up.
the sunscreen.
I took. So did I get to keep
No.
the sunglasses that he
You have-
that he
Okay,
put
Chet's
on?
got
No, you
sandals
have the
and-
puka shell
Puka shells
necklace and the sandals.
Okay,
yeah.
cool. That's what I thought. I don't even remember what the puka
Celia
shells
definitely
were.
would not have
Check
taken
your
this
saving
I
throw.
don't think anybody took it.
It was
I
a
didn't
dirty
realize.
20.
Dirty 20. Okay.
I didn't realize that we had left in it. Would they have been able to let me take that as well as the sunglasses?
Probably not, just because there is like a whole check involved with it, so can't really like. I would say probably not.
Yeah, whatever.
Could I pickpocket it? What? Before we leave?
Can't go back and do
I don't
things.
think we can
Let's
do
go,
it.
let's go.
But yeah, definitely can do it in the moment, but not after.
Good effort.
So you, what was your check? Or what was your
Dirty
save?
20.
Dirty 20. Okay. So you like breathe in heavy, and you were expecting something like or whatever. It is like breathing in almost like a liquid and almost like gasoline. It like fills your senses. You feel oily in your mouth and your
drinking water
throat.
down from a fucking Soark.
And then it's just
Gnarly.
like, gnarly, echoes out. And then you look around and suddenly this like dim light that is being put off the LEDs of this hookah are like brilliant and bright. It's like a laser show that's going off here. And you see the other woioko looks at you and he smiles and he just like splits in half and goes out to the sides and then reappears from the middle, and like all kinds of things are happening now, and you feel great. But you are in control of this high. I mean, you look around and when you really focus your attention, you can see what's really there.
Dude, this is what I'm talking about.
And then you could see he goes and he's like, I was going to wait until I had that deal, but you know what? You seem like a cool guy. And he pulls this up and he's about to take a hit, and suddenly fireworks go off, and you can see all of them pull these weapons out, and you hear like power packs go on, and rifles, like they all go to like the windows and they're pointing rifles out, and like you can see Zaskatane, like the sunglasses thrown down. He pulls this rifle up, and they are on edge.
Whoa!
But pause that.
Totally harshing my vibes.
You know what? Make a deception check.
Oh, but it's totally harshing my vibes.
I don't know if that's deception. I think it actually is.
Yeah, can that be diplomacy?
Yeah, sure.
Because that's a 24.
So you can see now Zaskatane puts a hand on your shoulder and he goes, don't worry.
Oh, okay, cool.
We'll keep you safe. You're with us.
Oh, thanks, bro.
And he like puts you behind, and his hand so warm as he touches you. It's like you are suddenly like on the beach, in the waves, on the board, like paddling out. You feel water underneath you as you like go and sit behind him. And as long as you are behind him, you know that you'll be safe.
Dude,
But-
I feel like I'm in a warm blanket right now.
Everybody else on edge. Nobody else got to have any of this like huge medley of drugs except for you. So no problem.
As we're probably swimming to the shore, I imagine we probably get to the shore. I'm going to turn to Sprocket. You know the old saying, you're not supposed to eat 72 meat pucks 15 minutes before swimming? Well, I'm starting to feel that. You can see he's like starting to like very like nervous and sweat. I think we need to let the others know that we're narrowing down our choices of suspects. I have reason to believe that maybe our suspect is not on the previous list given to us by Agent Spider. We should have Spring, Polly, and Ceilia maybe investigate this Skittermander. Something about them doesn't seem right.
You mean the musician?
Yes.
The Rude Sandstorm? But I love the Rude Sandstorm.
Just because he's your hero doesn't mean he is not someone who will do whatever it takes to join the cartels in drug selling.
Should we send a message to the group chat?
Yes, let's do that.
As you guys are talking, also for what it's worth, he's like, you know, you're like, oh, I feel like I'm in a warm blanket. In like slow motion, you hear one of these other people turn and they just go, hey, Zaskatane. And they're just like in real life, they're just like, hey, Zaskatane, there's one of those, oh, sorry, hang on one second here. There's somebody from the slumbering power here. And you could see he looks nervous, but he looks back and he goes, don't worry.
What's the slumbering power?
Like I said, don't worry about it.
Is that like some cool drug? Is that the good stuff?
It's a rifle. Hang on. And he goes over and you could see he takes the rifle and like lowers it and the scope comes up and he like begins to look through and they begin to like whisper back and forth. Make a perception check.
I'm going to send that message to Spring, Spring, Ceilia, and Polly.
Okay.
That's a 9, bro.
A 9? Yeah, no idea what they're saying. Okay. So, I would say, who would like to do something next?
Polly.
Okay.
Polly is gonna go up to the bar and watch. I assume Summer is being swarmed by annoying boys trying to buy her
No,
drink.
very much not.
Oh.
And so, like, you saw one or two people go over at first, and in fact, they were people that you were with. They were Don Gorski and they were Chet, and they buzzed right off. And you saw one more person go over and like talk, and it seems like almost everybody that goes to that corner promptly turns around and walks away.
Okay.
There's still a seat empty next to her. Then Ceilia, like on the other side of that.
She walks up. Are you lonely over here?
You like get this quick like ping of annoyance, but then she takes a breath and she just turns and she says, "I'm fine, thank you."
Well, nobody's sitting next to you. Do you mind if I sit down and wet my whistle?
Are you trying to flirt with her?
Sure.
Make a will saving throw, please.
14.
You like feel in your mind that there is this presence that kind of presses and pushes, and you see this individual regards you a little annoyed and then surprised as you pass that check and you are not influenced by this individual.
Ceilia kind of like leans over and is like, I'm sorry, but like kind of having a bit of a like personal alone time moment. You can like go away now.
Okay, so Polly is going to give Ceilia the evil eyes and be like, in her mind, I don't know if it's a two-way street.
It's a lashunta.
Okay, so it is two-way if you're a lashunta. She's gonna go, what? We're on the same fucking team. What the hell?
And then you feel back. It's like, thanks for being my wingman. Love you, babe.
So Polly's just like, all right, well, I would like to sing you a little song. She's saying this to Summer because you seem alone and sad. So Polly is going to draw up her guitar and start singing. And this is going to be a rallying roar, but for everybody except for fucking Ceilia.
Phenomenal.
Gets a bonus to will saves, and
Nice.
what's her face? Summer has a -1.
Phenomenal.
Nice.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden you begin to like play. At first, immediately Summer looks really annoyed and she like kind of like flares a little bit, and you feel that same sensation begin to creep in, but very quickly your playing is pretty good. And so as you begin to play, like she kind of relaxes a little bit.
Oh, I love Moline.
And I hate that so much. But you begin to play this great song about, you know, this banker who just really was going after your man. And you talk all about Moline.
Moline.
Oh!
There you go.
Moline.
I was thinking it was.
Anyways.
I was thinking it was a mole
Moline.
person.
So you begin to sing, and like Summer allows you to stay where you are. Begins to turn your attention more to you, and Ceilia, you feel the shoulder as it like turns, and you have more of Summer's back as she turns towards Polly.
Yeah, so Ceilia like pings into your brain. Well, that was a bust, and then kind of like walks away.
Okay, yeah, no problem.
So she pulls out her communicator and just like tried to get on Summer's good side and start a chat, but somebody had to take the spotlight.
That's to the group chat.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna be like, dead.
And like as you're doing that, like you tap it, and like your whole communicator ripples with like electricity. And so like you do just the D, and then it's just like all you can put in. And so you guys just get a little D from Chet. But you hear this individual turns and just goes, I can get her. Do you want me to take this shot? And Zaz turns and just kind of like pushes you back a little bit.
You taking shots?
And then like just kind of says, wait for the next song and when it starts.
Oh, dude. Another round. Next one's on me. I got this one.
Zaz turns and just goes, sure.
You've been so copacetic.
Come. And he like turns and everybody comes back. You see that one person stays there with the rifle in the window, but everybody else goes back. And like you can see Zaz puts arm around you and
What
goes,
about that guy?
they just need to relax for a little bit. They need
Well,
some
he
fresh air.
doesn't look relaxed because he's got a gun.
Oh, that's just a camera. That's just
Personally, oh, well,
Just a camera.
is that?
a camera. Make a sense motive check. You are really high. And so right now you're looking and it's either a camera or a hockey stick or a watermelon. It's really hard to tell.
It's an 8, dude.
It's an 8. That's just a camera. You've heard of shotgun microphones, and so this is probably something very similar.
Oh, is that like one of those shotgun cameras?
You can see one of them just kind of snickers and goes, yeah, no, it's
Dude,
a
I think
sniper.
my manager wanted me to get one of those. Can you get it like it goes over your head, right? And so you can get like a top-down view.
Everybody just starts laughing, and Zaskatan just goes, I like you.
I like you too, Zaskatan.
Have you ever thought about a career in trading?
Trading what? Like baseball cards?
Something like that. He turns, and you can see, he like nods, and one of the people pulls up, you can see this catering box,
Oh,
and props open the wooden crate, and there are just individually wrapped vials of different things.
oh.
And he just says, we're looking to buy a little bit more, but we need to sell it as well.
Oh.
And you seem like you get along well with people.
I like to think that. I'm a pretty chill guy.
Yeah.
Ha.
Suddenly, the song ends on the main stage, and there's like a brief period of time where there is like a lull. Could you guys all position yourselves where you are currently on this map?
After
Where would me and Sprocket?
after
I've
Polly got
been
involved
using
with
this as the
Celia,
ship.
Polly,
It's okay.
not Polly, Celia goes over to Katie and is preparing the protagonist orb.
Okay.
Let's see. So we're back here. The drone is here too.
You and me are here.
I'm probably next to you at this point, and we're probably just checking out the stage. And
Yeah, imagine we're swimming back and we get to this around here. We get close to Spring and the guys.
Okay.
Try to regroup, I guess.
Yeah, seems like.
But,
I don't know
are
which
you and I
one's
together
summer.
now?
yeah, you met us at the beach and probably.
Which one's Summer, Joe?
Summer is, sorry, the GPF sniper lady, but just that way it'd be easy to name who she is. No, the one, yeah, right there.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
For the record, Sprocket handed me the graviton pistol.
Okay, excellent. So this is like the static moment where all of you are here. The music is like dying down, and you can see like the Skittermanders getting ready to play their next song. In this drug den, there is like a noticeable shift in the atmosphere, and you see like people kind of gathering in a way to like block your vision from the actual window itself.
What's going on?
And Zaskatan just goes, I think there's about to be fireworks again, and we just want to be
dude.
careful. And
Well, why don't I watch those fireworks? That's sick.
where you are, Ceilia, you can see just like as you walk over right next to you, this like huge jackhammer woman. Everything dies down. She's like sweating a little bit now. She's like pretty pumped up. Like you can see like the muscles are swollen a little bit because she was just like throwing people around and punching people. She has a little bit of a bruise on one arm, but she's like breathing hard. She turns and she goes, "This is great, huh?"
It really is. Hi, I'm Celia.
And then suddenly there's like a change in her face. And she just goes, "Do you feel that?"
No?
And she just, it's like she like almost has like insects on her. And there's like a weird feel that she has to her. But you notice that going on. For the four of you, is there anything that you are doing?
Nah, I don't want to do anything.
Okay.
You guys,
I probably.
No, you're in the cave.
I'm wanting to make my way back
I've done enough.
because we know that there's drugs, but we still don't know who is drugs. So,
Yeah.
I did.
Spring, I think, wants to try to regroup, at least, connect with everybody. So she's gonna say to Sprocket, I feel like we're all spread out and we don't know what each other is doing. And where is Chet? Is he high or? We just got that D from him. What does that mean?
I believe Chet, I believe that he was headed to the drug den. I did warn him that Zassertain was there, and that he was... I mean, Zassertain's game should be...
All of you get a message that's just R, and it's also from Chet. And just slowly, he's going to spell out this word.
Celia, like, gets herself really close up to Katie and just kind of like, hold on, gotta get a picture of this, and throws up the protagonist orb and activates its spotlight.
Okay.
Nice.
So that's like nice and bright and definitely interfering with some vision, except
So,
for those who got sunglasses.
As you toss this orb up and it just spreads out, suddenly the next song begins to play. Give me 1 second here.
Nice.
And as that happens, there's this bright flash of light, and for you hear a crack as the fireworks go off. Although not a single one of you sees the fireworks.
Oh, where's the firework?
Oh.
And as you perfectly light this target, wow. Okay, there is a crack as this gunshot goes off, and because there is this crowd and the music is starting, I would say everybody make a perception check, with the exception of you, Chet. You hear this loud, but it's just fireworks.
Oh,
A single firework.
Natty 1!
Nice. You hear nothing.
Saskatoon, do you have a pen?
Huh? Okay, what's that?
16.
16, okay.
24.
24. 22.
25.
Otters and Polly, the three of you hear crack, 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 this gunshot go off before all of a sudden like the techno begins to like blare and lights begin to go out, and you hear this crack. And for you, as you are like taking a picture with Katie and like perfectly illuminated, you see like this bright like yeah, and then suddenly it shifts, and almost like this supernatural speed, she hits the ground, and I would say makes no attempt to save you and just flattens herself as this gunshot over. You hear nothing. But for the rest of you, you watch as Katie drops to the ground, just dodging a bullet. Quite literally dodging a bullet. Could everybody roll for initiative, please? Although for most of you, it is not immediately clear that you are in combat. Not most of you.
Does it my drone have its own initiative, or does it act with me?
It acts with you.
Okay. Oh, we're within 30 feet of each other, so that means we get to
Swap.
pick. We get to pick the initiative that is higher, and that's both of our
Oh,
initiatives.
nice.
Ooh,
You
that's
like
great.
an 18 or what's yours?
Mine is like a 6, so I would like the 18, please.
Okay, so it's 18.
Let's go with the 18 Sprocket.
There you go. So, anybody natural 20 for initiative? All right. 1 second here. Anybody 25 to 20? Ooh, that's unfortunate.
Oh,
Give me 1
that might be
second.
the lowest.
Okay. Anybody 20 to 15?
218.
2 18s?
17.
Yeah. not
17.
So, Chet, because of your drug state, I'm putting you after Polly. Just for simplicity. 18 is Sprocket and Spring.
Tuning fork?
15 to 10? Don, where are you?
I imagine Don is like starting to look a little pale. He's sweating a little bit. You can see his mouth is like he's chewing slowly. So that's going to give him a 6.
Celia's a 12.
Okay. Okay, so the way that this shakes out, Zaskatain's going first, along with the rest of their group, followed by Katie, followed by Spring and Sprocket. Is there an order that you guys want for that, by the way?
Right next to
Spring and then Sprocket.
Yeah.
Then Polly,
Goes off the tongue.
then Chet, then Summer, then Celia, then Dawn, and then literally everybody else. So this begins with Zaskatain. Give me 1 second here.
Zaz.
So you watch as all of a
People call
sudden
you Zaz.
he flicks his arm out, and you watch as underneath the entire bottom part just shifts out and becomes a rifle.
Dead.
He turns and he says, "Nobody calls me Zaz." And he like goes and takes his full movement to get right into. Can you just take the drug cave off, and we'll just remember that it's there?
How about
So
Zazzy?
Zaskatain is going to be the GPF soldier in all black, just for simplicity. All of them are going to turn. Could you move them up into the tree line as they all kind of like hit that area, and they are all going to fire at Katie.
Oh, dude! Whoa! This is harshing my vibes.
And so Zask team, they all have static arc
I know.
rifles.
He's a rival, they said.
And so Katie is going to be taking. So as you watch, Katie like hits the ground. This bullet goes over, and you're like, "What?" And then all of a sudden, electricity and just begins to bolt through the area. And at first, you hear it as like, and it's just like, oh, it's part of the music. But then all of a sudden, you watch as 3 of them strike Katie, and they begin to electrocute her. You watch as Katie takes.
Oh, dude, what are you doing?
D12. Ooh, wow, D12 roll forever. Katie is going to be taking 24 points of electric damage, and you watch as the electricity crackles around, and if she was hit any harder, that might leap out to the rest of the people in the crowd, but doesn't in this moment. Give me 1 second here. All right, the Zaskatane and group, that brings us to Katie. So Katie is going to, So Katie stands up and looking at you, Summer, you had just taken this kind of selfie. So you feel one muscular arm grab you, and she just says, "Don't worry, I'm going to get you to safety." And she leaps. And all of a sudden, all of you watch as through the spotlight, Katie leaps, and there's this as she like jackhammers up and then lands you on the stage with the Skittermander, with these 2 dancers. There is this of like fog and glitter and like lights that are going, and Katie just sets you down right on the stage. She
Free
turns.
action, have the orb just take pictures of everything?
Yeah, no problem. Absolutely. So she lands up there, puts you down, and then very markedly takes like a breath, and then she says, "I gotta go." Turns, breaking up her movement, continues to move, and is going to drop down, slam into the sand, and then she runs fast, and she reaches right into where Zane is. You could put her right into this group. And so Chet, you watch as like they all start firing, and you're like, wait, what's going on? And like this, your processing is so slow right now. And then all of a sudden, this huge woman, in your mind's eye, she's 20 feet tall, made out of metal, and charging like a train towards this group.
You look familiar.
And so that is Katie's turn. That brings us to Spring, followed by Sprocket. Spring, what do you want to do?
Okay, so I see all of this. So I saw Katie charge toward the den.
You saw Katie jump with Ceilia, drop her on the top of the stage, and then leap off, and like unbelievably fast as Katie leaps and runs through this forest and just disappears.
Okay, I'm going to... Sorry, so... gonna, as a free action, just be like, I guess that way, like out loud, and then I guess I'll run that way.
Okay, so you run, place yourself where you want to end up.
Let's see, what's my speed? Sorry.
No worries. And then Sprocket, what are you doing while this is happening?
I'm gonna send a comm. I don't know what kind of action that is, but I want to send a comm to the group.
Okay, swift
and
action.
also to like our contact.
Okay.
And just say like, that was definitely definitely heard a gunshot. I think from Zaskatane's group, and I think they just are shooting Katie. What should we do? Can we leave?
Yeah, can we leave? Good. Nice. Yes.
You send that
Sprocket,
message,
the
all of
only
you
one
get
with
that
a
message,
brain.
although most of you too busy to really get it at this moment, and the message that comes back is, "We'll be there in 5 minutes."
That's so many minutes.
It's a long time in combat, huh? So, that is what you get.
I don't know.
Anything else, Sprocket and Spring?
Yeah, so my drone goes after me, it's gonna move, toward the cave as well.
Okay.
And it's just gonna take photos, because it's got a camera mod.
Yeah, no problems.
It's gonna take photos.
Chet's like in the background of
a
all
lot
of
of
them.
If
Sitting on the couch.
if I saw Spring head towards, I would follow her, but
Yeah.
also hide.
Okay, no problem. Make a stealth check.
Chet's gonna have to go on a solo stealth mission to go hang out with Zazzy.
You have to break into a prison.
10.
So with the 10, it's chaotic, and it's like electricity arcs through the air, and people begin to scream. It's a little hard to hide. People begin to bump into you. You don't feel especially hidden. That is your turn, Sprocket and Spring. Anything else? The drone moves, takes pictures.
Just taking pictures.
That brings us to Polly. Chet, you're on deck. Polly. You see Cecilia after like that exchange, very icy you're feeling, but you turn and you watch as Katie like leaps and deposits. Now Ceilia in center stage, like part of the performance, has this like personal like drone that is taking pictures, spotlight. What would you like to do?
I think in the heat of jealousy, Polly's gonna go, damn it. Damn, she's getting all the attention. And then she hears like the gunshots and probably, are people panicking or does
People are starting to. They're moving on initiative 0, so like they're not moving yet, but like for flavor, yeah, they're panicking.
So Polly's gonna like grab Summer's shoulder and the man who's next to her and go, guys, you guys have to protect yourselves and I will protect you. And she jumps up on the bar and what does she want to do? I guess, let's see. I'm going to hold my action. Oh no, what I'm gonna do is, you see the sea glass around her wig starts to spin really fast and it sounds like a tuning fork. And she starts humming as she attunes herself to photon mode.
Phenomenal. Okay. So all of a sudden, this like crystal begins to move around, and it begins like a tuning fork, and it becomes like a high-pitched whine as it moves rapidly around. And this hum begins to strike out, and like one of the glasses just shatters up at the top, and like this begins to play out. No problem. That is your turn, Polly.
Yep.
Okay. Chet, what would you like to do then, Summer?
Dude, what? Put the guns away, bros. We're trying to have a fun time.
Make a diplomacy check at disadvantage. At disadvantage, at -10.
-10.
You're telling people in the middle of a gang fight to have a good time.
That's not terrible.
Take one of these literal chill pills.
So, it's 24 minus 10, 14.
So, like, firing, electricity zapping out. Suddenly, like, this song, like a high-pitched C note begins to play. People are leaping up into the air. You hear, like, thud, thud, thud. And as this happens, the woioko turns around and, like, on his, like crawls up to you with the rifle still in hand. And he just goes, we'll chill out later, but we gotta work now.
Oh, damn. Did your manager call?
Back, he turns and he goes, something like that. Get to safety, bro. And he turns and just begins to fire again. But, yeah.
And then it's my first turn, so what time is it right now?
So it's like 1:30 in the afternoon.
Okay, doesn't matter.
For 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm attuning to graviton.
Okay.
So,
Also Solarian.
You attune, kind of like basking in the sun, feeling it warm you.
It's the moon.
Oh, it's the moon.
Yeah,
right.
That
That makes
the
sense.
graviton one.
So you shut your eyes.
I'm getting in tune with the waves, bro.
And as you shut your
Find my
eyes,
happy place.
you just visualize yourself in the dark.
He said get to a safe space,
Yeah.
so I'm just gonna like tuck into the corner of the cave and get into like an Om pose. I just wanna
So you
get to
begin
my
like your
happy space,
morning meditation
safe
that you do
place.
prior to going out onto the surf, and you do that. Okay, that is your turn, Chet. That brings us to Summer. As you say, I'll protect you, and you jump up on the bar and begin to like do this. She is going to stand up, pretty calmly finish her drink, and then she is going to hold out a hand and just tap you on the shoulder. Do you want to fail a wisdom saving throw?
Yep.
Okay. She casts Mind Link, and in this moment just bursts information into you. You see this individual who, like 10 minutes of information in an instant gets flooded into your mind, and just she tells you about how she had been part of a religious order that had been like geared towards like basically helping a sleeping entity in the void of space come back to life. And there was a point where she was like, yo, this is not good, and she bounced out of there. And so she tried to join another order, but she got kicked out of there because somebody tried to make a move on her and she had to explode their heads. And like, this is the whole thing. And so now the way that she was treating all those people who were trying to hit on her really kind of clicks together, and like everything makes sense. And then at the very end of all that, she says, so now I just want to sell drugs and stop working for other people. And that's what I'm trying to do. And like, that is why she is here. Like, all of that flooded into your mind. That is her action. As a move action, she's going to like stand up on the bar with you. And then as a swift action, she's going to use entropic shield. And suddenly, all around you, you feel the force of particles begin to slow. And the wind dies down, although you see it on either side of you, a little napkin off the bar. There is no wind touching you at this moment. And you feel as if maybe you are not the person doing the protecting here. But that is her turn. That brings us to Ceilia, followed by Dawn.
So Ceilia is kind of like basking in her element on top of the stage, kind of oblivious to the fact that people are running away, but not oblivious to the shots in the corner over that way.
Yeah.
So she turns and she just is like, it's a little dark over there. I can't get a good picture. And then she like just snaps her fingers up above and does a little bit clap. And instead of summoning the marvelous dual twilight suns, she goes for the tertiary galaxy, which has 3 suns, which are always on the brightest mode. It's absolutely terrible for your complexion. And centers it 10 feet in this area, and everyone in that area needs to make a fortitude saving throw. They're also very illuminated.
Is this including Katie?
Anyone in a 10 feet area.
Oh, I have protection against dazzle. Does that help?
That does help.
Okay.
Dazzling
I've
is
got
a
my
thing.
sunglasses.
So
I put the visor down.
Zaskatan gets a natural 20.
Oh,
Definitely
fuck.
saves.
What is the DC?
It's
that's
a
5 different saves.
It's 14.
14. Two of Zaskatan's henchmen fail. Katie passes, 2 of the henchmen pass, and Zaskatan himself completely unaffected by this.
Okay.
What was
Did anyone roll a natural 1?
No.
Okay. So the fails are dazzled for 3 rounds.
Okay. Oh yeah, there are your rings. You don't get to flee them.
It was a
You
fortitude
know
save,
which
Cara?
ones are which.
Yeah.
I got 16.
Okay, you
you're
pass.
fine. Can you just any 2 of those henchmen? No problem. So those 2, as this just brilliant spotlights flare to life, and the woioko who was talking to you before, Chet, suddenly just goes, "Oh, gnarly!" and just like completely dazzled. You see the other person next to them like also blocking their vision. The other people like turn their backs and fire, keeping it at their back.
Dude, is that the firework?
And kind of like has directed the orb to take pictures in that direction.
No problem. So pictures
Oh,
going.
fireworks again!
That is your turn, Ceilia.
That's my
Alrighty.
turn.
That brings us to Dawn. Dawn.
So before we started this, you said my camera was an old-fashioned one.
Yes.
I'm thinking analog. If
I'm thinking like this. Old fashioned, like. what
Okay,
we were
so
using.
the Jack in the Box would probably mess it up.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's going to reset everything. So it doesn't, like, destroy stuff. It force resets every electronic in 30 feet.
Okay. What Don is going to do then is he's going to. So the rules of the Guinness or whatever this turn of world record keeper is that the meat pucks just have to be inside of your body. So he's just going to force feed the rest of the meat pucks into his mouth. Not swallow them, but he's going to videotape it, drop the camera, run over 30 feet.
Okay.
So the camera is out the range of not breaking it. And then he's going to take his fists and he's going to punch himself as hard as he can in the stomach to try to
God.
rip the Jack in the Box staff.
Oh, God.
phenomenal, first of all. Okay, so you have eaten 100 meat pucks. You run over.
Species
and for all of you watching, as like Dawn finally snaps into action, the limbs stretch and move in like unnatural ways. It almost looks like Don Gorski, when he really starts moving, has no bones. But he just like stretches over, Gumby runs, and then as he gets up there, you can see, and you are seeing all of this like clear as day, with these 3 suns illuminating Don Gorski. It is like they are the center of Swan Lake.
This party is flipping wild.
And he just goes over and punches himself in the stomach, and all of a sudden, every single those are not electronic, correct? That's magic.
That's magic. I ripped a hole in
Those don't go off.
fabric of space-time.
All of these rifles, you hear because they all like restart the firmware on them. Every communicator restarts. I believe the drone is within 30 feet.
My drone.
So that just onto the ground, and like you just hear duh, as it like begins to boot back up. Everything will come back up next turn. The point of service system that is at the bar, like the cash register opens and like, little credit coins come out. Yeah, it's every electronic in 30 feet just resets. No problem, Don. And you just vomit everywhere. Like meat pucks, an uncomfortable amount of liquid just expands across.
Did you know that Don Gorski was here, bro?
you can see there's just like chaos happening in this.
And you can hear whispering from Dawn, because this is what they say when you puke during the National Hot Dog Eating Contest. Elvis has left the building.
Oh, gross.
Wipes it away from his mouth. That is Don Gorski's turn.
That's Don Gorski.
Phenomenal.
That's just what
that
they say
brings
during
us
the
to
National
everybody
Hot
else.
The look of disgust on your face right now. It's like
They begin to run. She is going to go prone and duck and hide because she works there. They are going to run.
Guys.
You watch as the 2 of them just begin to swim. Actually, he's going to swim too. He has a swim speed, so he's going. For this party group, in general, they're all running off and into like this kind of beach area. Excuse me.
Including this anthropomorphic fire.
Yeah, they're all moving. No, the fire's gonna stay there. Sorry.
There we go. Answered. It's a bonfire.
It's a bonfire, yeah.
I was hoping it was like an individual
Fire elemental.
Yeah. So everybody begins to like flee. The people who are on stage still playing music. They cannot hear anything. And so you see the Skittermander, full shades. They probably can't even see below the level of the stage. So they're just like playing their heart out. The dancers look a little confused, but they're just kind of like still just like moving, but like not quite sure what's going on. Meanwhile, like gunfire is going on. It looks like special effects. It looks like fireworks, but people are getting hurt. That is the entire group. That brings us to the top of the round. So at the top of the round, the automated spotlights, with everything that's kind of happened in their field of view, just tuck over to Polly. And Polly, you take a +1 conditional modifier to any attack rolls or ability checks that you make this round.
Dope. How many rounds? 1?
Just 1.
Okay.
And so functionally, whoever is attracting the most attention from this like system is getting a bonus at the start.
Woo! Encore!
Basically, yeah. So, excuse me.
Where that came from.
That brings us to Zaskatan.
Haha.
And they're
So does anyone ever call you Zazzy Pants?
Zazzy pants.
he is going to
Zazzle, zazzle.
Sassafras.
Sassafras.
At that, he's going to turn. He's going to go. We're going to talk later, but I need you to be quiet. And he's going to tap you on the
that's
shoulder.
cool, no
Go ahead and make a
worries.
wisdom save, or sorry, a will saving throw.
Haha, 8.
You are dazed
Oh, dude.
as you just and like he just like casts daze and has you just like he's trying to quiet you as best as he can. That does mean that he's unable to fire with his primary weapon. However, the 2 who are not dazed are going to take shots at Katie. That is 1 miss and 1 hit. And Katie takes an additional 13 points of damage.
Behind him.
Second here.
In the cave.
Like, just kind of like chilling behind.
I don't have a
Is all
dazed
this fighting
printed,
happening
so
in the
we're gonna
cave
go
now?
They're
with
all like, they're
stealth.
all like right outside the cave. Yeah.
They're all like right there.
And
I'm
so
like
yeah,
in
they're
the,
happy to
cave,
stay
and
right
then
just
there.
like in the like
You know, little cranny.
That brings
like
us
tucked
over
in, you know,
to
imagine there's
Katie. So,
Couch around, like a big circle couch, and I meant the first one that's nearest the door.
Chet. You watch as this huge jackhammer SRO person.
Whoa, you are one bodacious babe.
Chet is definitely a Sigma male.
As they like slam down on the ground, people are firing, but they take almost no pause and they carry that momentum into a charge. And you watch as they slam into the first person that's in front of them,
I hope it's
and they
not
bull
me.
rush and just flatten them onto the ground. They are prone. They continue to move, and they're going to
wipe
impact the
out.
second person. And they're going to flatten that person as well.
Oh man,
Just move these guys over here. Excuse me. So,
are you a pro
flattened,
sport
flattened.
player?
They're going to end up here.
Oh, right next to me. Hi.
And so
Katie's a boss.
they like football train just slam through people.
Oh.
She drops down to like all fours and slides in the sand to stop her momentum.
Whoa.
And then from there, you can see she opens her hands, and these two almost like molecularly thin blades just appear. And she is going to throw one at you, Chet.
Hey, I'm a pacifist by nature.
Chet, that's a 23 to hit.
Oh, that's gonna hurt.
Other woioko also takes one of them. And, 1 second. I have to learn all these different damage types real fast. D6s. Chet, you are taking 14 points of slashing damage.
That's a toughie.
And you watch as the woioko takes one. He's like turns to you and he goes, "Dude, get right in the face," and just dies right in front of you. As that's a natural 20, and
Which one
they go down. That is the one who is like dazed and on the ground, who is just like trying to talk to Chet, just gets murdered right in front of you. And so you are the only woioko at the party now.
Oh man.
That is Katie's turn. That brings us to Spring, followed by Sprocket. Spring, you can see like this is wildly like beginning to devolve. People are fleeing. What do you want to do?
Okay, so we just need to survive now, basically. Like we have photos. This is a shit show, Sprocket. So okay, she's gonna. So can she see this like kerfuffle?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. How far? So I think Spring is just like, oh, we just gotta minimize the chaos. I guess. And so she's gonna take the graviton pistol that she received, and aim it at what appears to be the biggest threat right now, which is Katie.
Yeah, for sure.
So she's gonna shoot Katie with the graviton pistol, which I believe doesn't do damage; it just knocks people down.
Correct.
All right.
No, 1 sec. So make an attack roll.
Ooh, 8.
An 8. So you fire, and you can see like the elements of clothing that are on the jackhammer's body just shift, but they don't move at all. They're a dense individual, and unfortunately, that doesn't work.
And then to Sprocket, she's gonna be like, "What do we do? Do we hide? I would like to live." And that's her turn, and then the drone, I suppose, is booting up.
Fair enough. So it finishes booting at the end of its turn. Where are you right now?
We're like behind this.
Okay,
tree
cool.
here.
Yeah. No problem. Sprocket.
All right. So, do I know where the fireworks are shooting from?
Yeah, so all like behind the stage is where they were set up to shoot from. It sounds like they're coming from over by the drug den, because that's where all the actual shooting is occurring.
Okay. Spring. I have an idea. I don't know if it's gonna be good.
Okay.
Follow me and help. Let's try to point the fireworks at the chaos.
Okay. I trust you.
Okay.
I have no idea why.
And then I'm gonna send a message to the group.
Okay.
And just say, I'm gonna try to shoot the fireworks at the fighting. Don't be there. And then I wanna just move towards the fireworks and try to like use engineering whatever I can to like aim them like the fireworks to shoot like into the fighting.
So they're like 20, they're these little like mortars that are set up about 20 feet off the board. So with just your movement, you can get over there, no problem.
Okay.
You use the swift action to send a message to the group. You still have your action available. So if you want, make an engineering check. And this is really you not just like tipping them over, because you could do that.
Mm-hmm.
This is really you like adjusting the angle, not just shooting it in like horizontally, but really aiming it in a particular place.
Yeah. Engineering?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. So. 6. Alright, so that's gonna be a 17, and I'm just trying to see if there was any spell I could do to make it easier.
There's no water in the cave, is there?
No. There's a little tiny bit of water in the fuck bucket. And so, I mean, if you have something that you really
enough
need water for,
Is there a surface to this water?
not really.
Yeah, I guess I would take out my spoon, turn it into an Omni tool,
Okay.
and then just use that to try to help me adjust it.
So with a 17, where are you aiming it to hit?
Let's see. So it looks like I'm aiming it like right here. So I'm expecting it to be like an explosive, and I'm not gonna shoot them right now.
So that's where you're projecting.
Fucking hand.
Yeah.
It's just bright red, and so I feel like that's easy to see, you know? So there is no bright hand, there is no indicator, but that is roughly like in your mind as you adjust things, and you're like, you take out a little Allen wrench, and you're like, and it's like slowly going up and down an angle. You are like trying to aim it for there, no problem. And it feels like you have a pretty good trajectory set up.
Oh, very good.
No problem. Okay.
Well,
That
I'm
is-
over here still.
That is your turn, Sprocket. That brings us to Polly, followed by Chet. Polly, the spotlight hits you, and you feel the power of being a star just overwhelm you. What do you want to do?
She's like, for her, she's like, maybe there are lives more important than being famous. And so she's gonna jump down from the bar, and I assume these two people are still here. Or are they?
Yep, yeah, they're still there.
gonna
They
go.
work there, so they're staying.
I assume they're panicking. So she goes, you need to get down, and tries to like protect these people. by
Okay. Yeah, they like all duck down. They drop their trays. One of them holds like their tray up as like shield. But yeah, they all take cover.
And she's like, all right, as long as you guys are safe, I'm gonna go try to figure out who's shooting up this fucking place. And she goes up to where the fighting is, raises, oh, fuck. Can't move, can't, fuck.
Oh, I
use this
can't
weapon.
move and do a
Fucking
thing.
is a
and
full
then
action.
move.
Yeah, fucking is a full action. There we go. I guess what I'm gonna do is she's going to, because I don't have my weapon on. So I'm going to, so her sea glass is going around her head, and it starts to spin faster, and that C minor just gets louder and louder and louder, and it becomes a complete orb of light, and she supernovas everywhere.
Phenomenal.
What does that
Supernovas
look like?
everywhere.
What for her? What does it look like? It looks like a ripple of sound.
Ooh.
So it looks like, you know how water ripples around like a vibrating object? Like the air around her starts like rippling.
I love that.
So at first it just looks like over a hot tarmac, like the heat waves, but then all of a sudden, as it hits like the top of the note, it is like a pulse that just begins to vibrate out from Polly.
And so everybody within a 10-foot range of me, which is not that many people, but you get sass.
I think
Yeah,
you have to be fully attuned to do.
And are we not?
I think it's
It
nobody.
takes. I think it takes 3
Jesus.
rounds to fully attune. 'Cause
Oh.
You have to go up to 3 points.
Shit, I thought it was
So
1
Larry
point.
is confusing. It's
Yeah.
not-
So no problem. You hold on to that and you continue
Second
to build.
level of attunement.
You continue to build.
Yeah,
no problem.
the
You
ripples
just
are
have
still letting
you just
go,
gotta
but it's like,
meditate.
That is
it
your
takes so much
turn.
longer.
Yeah, just
Polly.
find your
No
safe.
joke though.
Find your safe space.
Chet, what would you like to do? And then Summer.
I just got stabbed, bro. I'm gonna. Can I take a defensive step? And I'm gonna use my gravity boost to kind of like crawl up the wall of the cave a bit to make myself scarce.
Okay.
And I'm gonna use my action to continue my diplomacy.
Okay. What are you saying?
Whoa! Look, we can all still be friends here. We're all here for one thing, and that is to party. The party can be savage. Look, my friend Polly, she can sing another song. It's gonna be sweet.
Make a diplomacy
What?
check.
We're working 9 to 6. Oh.
9 to 6.
Go ahead
What
and
a way to
a
make a
diplomacy
living.
check. Take a +4 conditional modifier for syncing it to the song of Polly.
Oh my god.
It's actually 4 to 6. Working 4 to 6. And then we
it's
get an
not
hour lunch
great.
break. And we have beers from 5 to 6. And then we all go
got?
home.
I know we've been fired.
Diplomacy is +4. God, math is 19.
19. Okay. So you begin to just yell, "We can still salvage this party," and then you begin to like kind of recite Polly's words. And as you do, you see Katie's eyes, which are like pinpoints, suddenly get a little bigger, and she shifts her focus away from you.
Oh, I'm not gonna die yet.
That is your turn, Chet. You cling to the side of the cave. That brings us to Summer. So you continue to build your power, Polly.
Oh, I think I also you attune. I think just automatically per round once you've attuned. So like it happens. You can still do other stuff
No, it's a full action.
to attune.
Yep.
There's also different kinds of Solarians, and so
okay.
it depends on that. But no problem. So you see, as you begin to build your power, Summer is going to get kind of far away from her, and I guess she doesn't really know what you're doing. Summer's going to sit back down and pour herself a drink.
Classic stuff.
And she's kind of just
Bringing back
full
that
action.
party.
Full action. Begin to sip on some rum and watch. That is
Keep the party
Summer's
alive,
turn.
Summer.
That brings us to Ceilia, followed by Dawn. Ceilia, what would you like to do? You are up on the stage. People are running away. You see the
Celia's-
drone fall down.
More than 30 feet away from the action, right?
Oh yeah, especially with the hypotenuse.
Just had to check. Well, Celia can't move very fast either. Like the platform sandals she has on, not great for running. So, she's got a little friend who's also a great fashion accessory. So she's just gonna summon Felipe. It takes a round, so she's just gonna like make some weird like hand gesture dance moves. Okay. And there's like a little like glowing green shadow cloud that starts to build.
Okay, yeah, no problem. So you begin to summon Felipe. Just a brand new sentence. That is your turn. Celia, Dawn, what would you like to do?
Dawn goes-
You wipe the vomit away from your mouth.
Dawn goes up to the closest guy and says, would you like to have some fun? I hope you left enough room in your stomach for a little bit of Dawn pie.
Oh God.
The most.
That's a natural 20. Oh my god! The bottle works!
Go ahead and roll for damage.
Wow.
You can see this guy is like, he's like picking one leg up away from this puddle of vomit that is spread. It's a lot of puke. I cannot stress to you enough how much. It's 600 grams of meat puck. This is like, yeah, it's a lot.
So
It's a
I rolled a 1 plus 11.
How much?
1 plus 11.
So it's 12.
12. But I was doing the pause because I don't know how critical.
Was it 1 on dice?
Yeah, so I think it's just plus.
So
it's
2.
just
So no problem.
Hey,
You do
everybody
12 points of damage.
No, 13.
13. Okay.
Yeah.
So
It helps.
this individual, as you like, You say, I hope you left a little room for some Don pie. And you grab him by the shoulders, and as he tries to break them with a combat move, you do the opposite of a combat move and just thrust your belly, which is relatively not huge, into him. And in that moment, it's like elasticity. It lags behind and then just slams into him.
I like to imagine there's a little imprint of my belly button on his forehead.
Oh, absolutely. As he cartwheels end over end and then just into the sand. 5 feet unconscious in the sand.
Nice.
Yeah. Level 3. These guys do not have a lot of health. So that is your turn, Dawn.
It's the Bob's loadout.
That is your turn, Dawn.
Yeah.
That brings us to everybody else. The rest of that group is going to continue to run down the beach in both different directions. So they're running. The people who are swimming are kind of continue to swim. They're not going to be able to swim all the way back. So this is just panic. And then at the top of the round, the spotlights extend out and then turn up and angle back. And Ceilia, as you are casting this thing in front of the Skittermander, you are literally the only person who is dancing in their field of view, and so the spotlight hits you, and you take a +1 conditional modifier this round. That brings us to Zaskatane, who very confused by everything that's happening. Bright lights, there's miniature suns, there is this vibrant playing person right in front, and so though they are very, very concerned with Katie, Polly, as you are orbited with these crystals that are beginning to whine with energy, they're going to fire at you. They're going to take a full attack to fire at you. Wow, and that's not good. Sorry, that's good. Does a 20 hit? Polly.
Does a 20 hit?
Oh, yeah, duh.
Okay, and then
Sorry,
no worries. And then does a 13 hit?
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic.
Not for Polly.
Polly, you are taking
Don't shoot my friend.
29 points of electric damage.
Oh my gosh.
As both of these
Yikes.
almost deal max damage to you.
Oh my god.
Hitting you again and again. Zaskatane pulls back, and you watch at the very end of that as a battery just into the sand. And they begin to reach to pull out another one.
Oh, Zazzy, that's my friend.
You say that free action. That is Zaskatane's turn. The other, there's one left who is not dazed, and they are going to turn and also fire at Polly.
Oh no.
That's cocked. That is a natural 20. And so Polly,
Yikes.
and that is max damage.
Oh.
Oh no.
You're taking 35 points
None of us are healers.
of electric
right?
damage. And you watch as electricity arcs from your body.
I have a +8 in this.
Oh, to nobody. Okay, great. So, you just take 34 points of electric damage.
Yikes.
So you see Polly's singing
Whoa.
4 to 6. And then so she still have the spotlight on her?
Yeah. Well, no, because it just moved over to Ceilia.
Okay. So in the darkness from behind the part, she's her fans behind her are down and hiding because they're safe now. You see she just gets absolutely annihilated. And with her last breath, she lets out, "And I will always love you." Then dies. Or whatever, she's
Unconscious. No problems. You drop in the sand. Yeah.
Yeah, and then resolve.
It's slow motion. It's just that song playing in the background as you fall slowly into the sand. And then with the last high note, you just into the sand and it goes dark. But for everybody else, this battle rages on. That is all of Zaskatane's group. That brings us to Katie. Katie turns her attention away from you, Chet, and is going to crouch her legs, and you can feel the kinetic momentum build, and then she leaps, and she is going to attempt to bull rush Zaskatane into the ground. And you watch as Zaskatane turns, and you're like, "Zazzy, no, that's my friend." And he turns and he goes, and then you just watch as he just gets bulldozed away, and he just disappears into the jungle, being like carried away a good 15 feet, I believe, right to the edge of the map, before he is driven into the ground with Katie's shoulder, and then
Wait, which
from
way?
Which way?
no towards
way.
towards
Yeah.
towards you
Like
guys.
back into the cave.
Yeah, back into the cave, and so from within the cave.
Okay.
Yeah, that guy.
So,
from
like-
within the cave, as Katie drives Zaskatane down, the shoulder hits them in, and then all of a sudden you hear the jackhammer begin to engage, and just jackhammers Zaskatane into the ground, which deals damage one more time. And you watch as Zaskatane is jackhammered unconscious in the cave quietly by his rival.
Oh no, Zazie!
And just drives him into the ground, like swarms back around, like swiveling into the sand, and then breaking up her movement, returns and darts out.
Unfair that she gets to break up her movement.
She took the feet.
Gosha is gonna be real
Wow.
upset that
I was
that
like,
kind of
before we
equipment is used
started,
that
Oh,
way.
I
for
was
sure.
like, hey, so anything I should know about Starfinder? And Joe was like, the most important thing, you can't break up your
That's
movement.
specifically why I wanted to mention it,
Yeah.
because you would be. That, I didn't want it to be confusing because she could do it. So that is Katie. That brings us to Spring, followed by Sprocket.
Okay.
Spring, you watch as Polly just gets murdered.
How does
Oh,
America
it's
taste?
so
Knocked
horrifying.
unconscious.
Yeah,
Still
where
alive.
is she?
Right
That's
there.
her?
Yep.
Okay.
Can you just knock her down? She's on the ground.
All right. Well, that sucks. So, I say to Sprocket, try not to murder me. And she's gonna go over here. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I'm diagonal from her. Can I
Yeah,
help her? Okay, cool.
absolutely.
So, I think I'd like to do a medicine check. I think I can do first aid to a dying creature. So can I medicine?
Yeah, absolutely. Make a medicine check.
You can. I think you stabilize,
Yeah.
and then
So that's an 18 on the die plus 8 is
Wow.
saves you having to use the resolve.
So as you rush over, your little otter paws carrying you as fast as they can, you see down on the ground is Polly, and from behind the bar, one of them just yells, "They were working 4 to 6, save them!" And you just rush over, and you like go down, and your little otter hands just patter all over, and you feel the areas that are singed badly, and you apply the medical knowledge that you have, and you stabilize Polly.
nice.
Different part of the galaxy.
Cool. And then I guess that's it. And then the drone is just still snapping photos, I guess, because
problem.
at this point this is just a crime scene
Absolutely.
and the feds are on their way.
Check.
which
Yeah,
gotta
for
survive.
sure.
They'll appreciate it.
Sprocket, what do you want to do?
Background of them.
Who do I think if I were to rip those rockets, fireworks right now? Who do I think that would hurt?
It looks like it's gonna hit all bad guys and a little bit Don Gorski.
Yeah, probably done.
So all bad guys.
Yeah. All right. Let's see.
Don
Spring is like,
Goes
"Oh,
is
this is
a
not
bad
me."
my.
Dawn is the primatism.
All right. So then I'm going to.
I'm honestly concerned now. I thought Don was cool.
What kind of action is it to hit
Chet's
the
been
rest of the
making
like all the rest of the buttons? On
It's an
the-
action. That's an attack, and you're just using every charge in this weapon.
Oh, okay.
You could absolutely do that.
Can I tweak the angle a little bit to not hit Don, or is that gonna?
So make an attack roll. It's not going to be guaranteed hit. Now you're rolling to attack because you're using it as a weapon.
Oh. All right. You know, what? I'm just gonna run towards Spring and then hit all the buttons. on the-
Phenomenal. So, really quick, super slow motion. You are running, holding this little RC controller. Spring, you look up, you see Sprocket like crossing. You are like looking down. Polly's eyes flutter to life, and like Polly, you look up and like in this moment of like regained consciousness, you see like these two otters getting closer and closer as like Sprocket swipes down on the switch, and then there is a deafening boom. Absolutely like deafening, so much so that Ceilia, from where you are, the music just stops as every speaker is blown out, and the Skittermander, like their sunglasses crack, they turn, and all of a sudden like they are finally aware of what's happening. You see the dancers duck down, the trees are like to the side, and there is this huge burst of light that erupts as 13 of these mortar-style fireworks are unloaded in that space.
Whoa! Secret fireworks!
Can you roll 26 d12?
Oh,
26.
26?
Holy cow.
I would do it on a laptop or something.
No, no, I've got 26.
We gotta source them. We gotta source them.
You want them.
do this.
You want
I've got
them.
the roller here if you want, or
D12.
Here's more.
I've got D12s.
Alright.
Give them all your D12s.
And if you
I
want,
need
you
two
can,
more.
you can
I
roll
need
it on the
mine.
beach so it's on
Oh,
camera.
alright.
That's fine. Okay.
I think I have enough.
Do you have enough?
Yeah.
I've got another one if you need
sorry.
it.
How many did I need?
This is 26.
I don't have enough.
Keep sourcing.
I've got a roll here. If
This actually might be an Alberon RPG record for.
There's another one.
This is more than the largest fireball that we've had.
Looking for all my D12s. I have many.
3 more.
2 more.
We're getting there.
Alright, I need I think I need possibly one more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright.
Oh.
We got
You gotta roll
26.
all at
I
once.
even have one
All
more
at
if you need.
once.
You good?
I'm pretty sure I'm good.
Oh my gosh, this
One,
is so
two,
exciting.
5. Oh my god. No, I'm good.
I hope we get all once.
I know, right? 26 points
26 points
of
of
It's so
damage.
easy to count too.
It's like
Yeah, you
every
wanna grab
firework
these 10 and
explodes
we'll
and
roll them
nobody
together?
gets hit
Oh
by
my
a single
gosh,
spark.
otter
It's just magic. Okay.
Right here? You ready?
Yeah, do it.
All right, now count
that
it
in
all up.
Alright.
All right, Math Finder.
Alright. Let's see. 10. Well, let's see. Let's see. 10. 20.
This is what the stream is like.
I'm so sorry my cursed dies
All right.
rolled low for you.
We're gonna count out all the screws now. These are the part C4 hex screw, 3 inches long.
1,
There's a
2.
one.
Let's just make sure they have the right number of threads, shall we? 42 threads per screw.
Oh hell yeah, the spice dice real good. Spice dice.
Spice dice.
I have a 2.
Math camera.
7. 6. 2. Alright. Let me
Okay,
take
so
Shade
Let's count
dice
up the
also
tens.
rolled
Alright.
okay.
Oh, that one's cocky. 3 or more.
3, 4,
That's it. If
5,
it's one
6,
cock
7,
dice, you gotta
8,
reroll
9,
every one.
10, 11, 12, 13, and let's see, 9.
Map
This is
finder.
20, so 15, 156.
Vincent, go ahead and tell us how it happens.
Yeah, what?
Eliminate this entire mercenary group in a
Alright.
single fell
So
swoop.
I
Does
finished.
Chet die?
No, I'm in the cave.
He's in the cave.
I
I'm in the
finished
cave with
tweaking
Zazzy.
No, not
the,
with Zazzy.
Isn't Zazzy in the cave? He got,
got, like,
bum rushed. He
jackhammered.
got bull rushed in there.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you're right. You still have Zazzy.
probably
He's unconscious though.
not
Yeah,
living.
but I can save him.
So go ahead. Yeah.
So I tweak the fireworks to point at there, and then I see that Spring ran off, so I run over and I jump on Spring to like get us both on the ground, and then I just smack all the buttons and fireworks shoot.
So it's just this huge explosion of mortars, and from your perspective, you are looking up like you have this other otter arm over you, and like the first explosion is just this beautiful red like heart of a firework that erupts out, and then you try to filter out the fact that there's arms and legs and things also as part of that, and then just like twisting lights and purple and green, and at the very end, the 13th firework in this set just it says the rude sandstorm that just flashes across. This was supposed to be the finale, and then just little
It's
crackles.
just all
And with that,
secret
you are all out of combat.
Oh my god.
Well
Hey,
done.
Spring. At least I'm
Polly is being tended to.
Yeah,
Do I see
got
that?
her. She's
So yeah, you look over, you can see Spring holding Polly, whose like eyes flutter to life.
Do I clock Summer?
Yeah, she's drinking.
Don is going to check in on his camera.
Okay. You go in, and Don,
Zazzy.
Oh my god.
perfect video.
Oh my god. Okay. All right.
Uh,
I think the boys at the Guinness are gonna be very, very happy.
For what it's worth, as everybody like gets back up and checks all their stuff,
Helping Zazzy.
with the fireworks, with the overwhelming electronic hack in the box especially, the only person who has a video of this instance is Don Gorski.
And I'm gonna submit this
And
Meat Puck.
it's worth noting, this is a 2-hour-long video. An hour and 20 minutes of it is Don popping something in his mouth and like filming him like on the plane, popping one in his mouth, them landing, pops one in his mouth. Like he's waiting in line for his bags, eating meat pucks. It's like an hour and 40 minutes of that, and the last like hour is like all good stuff. It's you guys like meeting, it's like everything else. It wasn't canceled out by the airport security, and so you have a full video of all the events.
And also, Don said this earlier. If he submits this to Meat Pucks, they will give him a commercial.
We'll have to see. But in this
If
moment,
the record is complete.
all of you, despite the fact that your only assignment was to take pictures, you have murdered a drug lord and all of his associates.
He's still alive, potentially.
You have spared the life of the SRO jackhammer Katie Crash, and some of you have made a new friend in Summer Gladwell. As the fireworks begin to die down, people stop running away and begin to like turn and try to figure out what happened. For what it's worth, Ceilia, you watch as this skittermander quickly makes his way down the ladder and begins to run back towards the boat.
Ceilia like sees him leaving. It's like, no, I wanted an autograph, and which warps the terrain around him to be difficult terrain.
Okay.
So it's just like a bunch of seaweed and like quicksand just kind of appears, and the land speed is affected.
So he begins to like run, and as you shift reality around him, it's like the ground turns and he's still running straight, but you curve it in just such a way so that he just runs back around and he's just running towards you before he stops and he just goes, "This isn't where we're supposed to be!" And he just runs back around and like continues to rush away. But you have all completed your mission and then some. And so this mission of the influencers concludes successfully. Well done, everybody. Well done. That was
Well done,
truly
honors.
in my brain. The fireworks existed as a distraction, perhaps, but that definitely works. Well done. Thank you for joining us for this session of Mosaic Team 5 original one-shots, The Influencers. We are still on summer break next week, but you can join us for a special one-shot set in our Adventures in Alberon world, Camp Bright Cove. So that is a nice, happy, and upbeat game that is going to be played next week. But until then, please stay safe. We'll see you next week.
See you, space boyfriend.
Pew,
Bye.
pew.